What's up, everybody? Welcome, one and all.
Yeah.
All of you, even you.
Oh.
To the WAN show. Huh. Well, I've never welcomed you to the WAN show before. If you think about
probably have on the first episode.
Oh, maybe.
It's a long time
It might not have been called WAN show at that point,
That's
though.
true.
So I'm saying this is it. For the first time, Luke, welcome to the WAN show.
Thanks, bro.
We've got a great show lined up for you today. We never actually talked about this last week, but a well-known activist in the video game accessibility space doesn't appear to be real, allegedly. We're also going to be talking about what exactly happened this week when one of our videos got un-YouTubed. We'll talk a little bit about that, but there's going to be some more detail in a full video that's coming tomorrow. What else we got today?
Maybe our phones really are actually listening, even though we've been gaslit that they haven't been this whole time.
Yeah.
Intriguing.
I never believed it.
Yes. Also, Concord sucked, I guess. It's offline completely.
I mean, yeah, I was about to say, I mean, I wouldn't know. I didn't try it, but hey, neither did any of you.
And now you can't.
The show is brought to you today by LG, Squarespace, 1Password, our chair partner Secret Lab, and our laptop partner LG. Dan, hold on a second. Before we get into this, how can a show be sponsored by LG twice?
What? Oh.
And we're off to a good start. All right, let's jump right into our first topic.
That doesn't make any sense.
Wait, no, I think it is, though.
It is.
I know.
That's cool.
YouTube unalived one of our videos this week. The popular series that we just started, so I'm maybe taking some artistic liberties when I call it a popular series, but our series, De-Google Your Life, had a part 2 that was uploaded a little over 2 weeks ago and sat there on YouTube for 2 weeks until earlier this week. I received a notification that it had been removed for violating YouTube's community guidelines. Specifically, it was flagged as potentially harmful or dangerous content, which we'll get into this in a little bit more detail. Doesn't necessarily mean that it included, instructions on bomb building or anything sort of overtly dangerous like that, but more
It doesn't necessarily mean it didn't include bomb building?
It is possible it included that. Did you ever play it backwards? Like those records from the 70s with the devil lyrics?
Yeah,
Did you?
That's fair. No, I didn't.
Well, now you can't because it's not on YouTube. At least
it's on Floatplane.
At least it's not on our YouTube channel, where it definitely is on Floatplane
and other people's YouTube channels. So what we discovered is that category of violation is just extremely broad, and they did provide a little bit more detail in terms of what was exactly against the YouTube community guidelines in a not a follow-up, but in like an additional message. I can answer a couple of your main questions right now. One is, if you want to watch this video, where can you go? And the only official source of it is lmg.gg/floatplane, where it will be forever because it doesn't violate Floatplane's terms of service. What?
So there you have it. De-Google Your Life Part 2, where we talk about... I'm actually not going to show the exact things we talk about because I really don't need this episode of The WAN Show pulled down. Yeah.
Thanks, YouTube.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Cool. Anyway, there are other places where you can find it, but guys, this is yet another example of the importance for creators of diversifying their revenue sources. And this is something that I've been talking about since day zero.
Yeah, for sure.
Both internally here at Linus Media Group and externally when I did really unpopular things in the past. Do you remember the kind of long chat
we had to have with the audience the first time we did a baked-in sponsor spot into our video.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, that was controversial.
Extremely
back
so.
when we did it. I think we were promoting an Intel like snowboard giveaway or something like that. That was either the first one.
Yeah, that was super weird.
Or
I
a
remember
very
this.
early one, and Ed did this like weird little like graphic that he created for it and stuff. And that was a big deal back then. It was like, you money grubbers, get a real job. Like the way the discourse around that kind of thing has changed in the last 11, 12 years.
Now when people don't have those, people are like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
You gotta get paid,
Get
dude.
that bag
Get the
clean,
bag,
king.
yeah.
You know, like it's
Totally changed.
it's totally changed now. And so, you know, whether it is procuring your own sponsors, or whether it's starting a merch store, or whether it is providing video downloading and streaming services directly to your viewers via an alternative platform like Patreon or Nebula or Floatplane, we have strongly encouraged creators since day zero to look for ways to diversify their income streams. And this is such a Streisand effecty way of Google ultimately making our point for us in a way that I could never make so powerfully.
I do prefer it over them effectively like shadow banning the video. Because that wouldn't have Streisand affected it.
Yeah, I guess that's true. And thank you for bringing that up. Now, if anyone from YouTube watches this, I'm sure there'll be some internal conversations about, you know, taking that approach instead. Good job.
Yeah.
I mean, in general, it's true what he says. Shadow banning the offensive behavior is absolutely the lowest impact way of at least lowering its impact.
We've seen YouTube do that before with channels, so we know
Yep.
that's the thing that they do. You can find the channel, you can technically find the videos, but it's really hard. You almost need direct links to them. They'll like never be recommended to you under any circumstance.
Yep. But as it was, the way that they did it was not great. It ended up with, I think, Rossmann made a video about it that has 500,000 views now.
Yep.
His video, I think front page Reddit, like r/all, it has 30,000 upvotes just discussing Google pulling this video down. There are re-uploads of it that I'm not going to link to because
That's a question that I've seen from the audience a bunch, actually.
I'm not interested in going to battle with YouTube over this. It's not...
Totally. Are you planning on doing anything on the LMG side about the other people uploading the videos? This is not me asking the question. I've seen this asked from a bunch of other people, just to be clear for the audience.
Do what?
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
All right. Yeah. I think
What videos?
That's crystal clear to me. Sounds good.
What is?
Yeah. Nothing. I mean, air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's clear as a crystal.
Yeah.
Crystal air. I highly recommend it. It's delicious.
It sounds like if Crystal Light got into like flavored air.
Isn't that just asbestos?
This is
I assumed it was a Pepsi product.
I assume it's like one of those weird booths you find in like Las Vegas when they're trying to sell you like flavored air.
Banana flavored asbestos?
Yeah.
Yum.
Yum.
So,
right.
and I'm, you know, like I said, I'm not going to say too much about it because our full kind of breakdown is going to be uploaded hopefully tomorrow. I might even get the call during this WAN show to have a look at the edit and make sure that it's good to upload.
Oh, we're releasing a video like talking about what happened.
Literally, we kind of pivoted this morning and we went, okay, at this point, it has officially Streisand affected, and not because we did anything.
Yeah,
we actually,
to be honest, we didn't do anything.
The first thing that I said to our Google contact, who, by the way, is great, and I'm not going to say anything that she said or didn't say about any of it because nothing she said is problematic in any way from my point of view. Effectively, all she did was kind of go, okay, here's the resources that you guys need, and it's just kind of pointed us at the places in the dashboard. She did everything totally great. I actually love our YouTube contact. She's amazing. But the first thing I said to her was, this is such a completely unnecessary, like, escalation of this, when if you guys had a problem, you literally have my cell phone number. You could have said, hey, this is a problem. And to be clear, I'm not even saying I should get special treatment in this case. I'm just saying that as a very large channel, regardless of how they feel about me or my channel, doing this without talking to us and without even attempting to rectify the situation, to tell us what's wrong.
Not that you necessarily would have changed it anyways.
Not that we necessarily would have changed it anyway.
They would have appreciated some form of
I didn't even say that.
at the very least.
I didn't even say that.
I'm just making, because it
No.
yeah.
I want to make it clear.
Yeah.
I was not asking for a heads up.
Oh.
What I was saying was, strategically, this just seems like a pretty dumb move.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
And that was the first thing I said about it. And I'm not going to say what she did or didn't say in response to that, because I'm not looking to get her in trouble. She's amazing.
Yeah.
But I was just like, with every factor considered, and I'm not saying I would have done anything differently, or that I wouldn't have just left it up, or that I wouldn't have just said F you or whatever,
I don't think
right?
I would have changed it.
Because I'm not even going there. All I'm saying is, this seems like the highest impact possible way that you guys could have approached this.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And it's one of those things where I feel like sometimes it just comes down to engineers making decisions rather than, like people whose specialty is sort of human relations and human interactions and human behavior, people who see things in terms of numbers and in terms of policy. And you know what? I got to own my part of the blame here, right? Like, I did put them in a challenging position by uploading a video that violated TOS. It's that simple.
Did it violate TOS?
We get into yes.
Okay.
Whether or not that should be the TOS, we're going to leave that to people's judgment.
Got it.
But in the video, we do lay out how we did, in fact, violate TOS. So I'm not complaining. I'm not going to sit here and throw a little hissy fit and re-upload my video and then get a strike and then complain about that and turn this into like a drama snowball. That's absolutely not going to happen. But what I will say is, I think they went about this in the supremely wrongest possible way. And what I would like to see is, I'd like to see them approach these things in the future more like they handle things like copyright, where the video doesn't get ripped down.
It's a back and forth.
Yeah, the owner flags it. And to be clear, the way they handle copyright is not perfect. I'm just saying there are some things that we can learn from YouTube's existing systems about how we could do this better. So you get a notification. In the meantime, any AdSense earned by the videos goes into escrow. And then once the claim is dispute is resolved, that funds that is in escrow either goes to the copyright claimant or it goes to the uploader who had their video claimed against.
Yeah.
And so that was how it worked for a long time. And then now it's actually a little bit better. You can use AI to remove infringing music, for example, so that you can maintain your AdSense without actually just reallocating all of it to the owner of the song you used for 40 seconds of a 1 hour video or whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. So there's also the opportunity to trim out the infringing part. So we've done that on WAN Show before, where we've shown like a movie trailer or something like that, which I actually maintain is fair use. I'm not willing to go to court to defend it, but I strongly believe that watching a movie trailer on a podcast or on a stream, it's an advertisement.
Yeah.
When you look at the impact, like there's the 4 pillars, right? And in that case, I think the main pillar that matters is the one where it's the effect of the use on the potential market for or value of the work.
Yeah, if anything,
you would be crazy, utterly deranged, unhinged to like willfully like make a human decision and go, those guys are showing my commercial. How dare they? And
these people didn't pay to access my commercial
and rip it down, right? Like that's just crazy. And people are saying apparently this is totally a thing. Cam Fam Bam in Floatplane Chat says Warner apparently went after Mumbo. I don't know who that is, but for the Minecraft trailer video. Now, in that case, that's a little bit different, because if you're just playing the trailer, especially if you're being positive about it, then the impact on the market of the work, on the potential market for the work, is very positive. If you are showing the trailer in its entirety and then just like crapping on it for 25 minutes, that particular pillar weakens a lot, right? But there's 4 pillars. So I think when it comes to things like marketing collateral, I still think there's very, very strong arguments to be made for the fair use repurposing of commercials and advertising imagery and stuff like that. What was I even talking about now? I forget.
I don't know. I'm looking at the Minecraft trailer now.
No, well, have you watched it yet?
No.
No, don't watch it.
Close it. What did you expect that was going to do?
It's one of the topics of the... I was hitting the space bar. I was pausing it.
I'm pretty sure you hit the trackpad.
Well, I'm pretty sure that you hit the trackpad.
Well, okay, when I closed it, yeah.
Anyway, the point is that...
So are you talking about how we often have to trim out trailers and then we're going to watch a trailer on the show?
Oh yeah, right. Hey, thank you. That was actually really helpful.
No problem.
So yeah, one of the other mechanisms is offering the ability to trim out the offending section so that the copyright holder's claim can be removed. But that was not given as an option. Instead, the entire video was pulled out, even though, as far as we can tell, there were only small parts of it that were in violation of the TOS. So I would like to see, in the longer term, I'd like to see YouTube reevaluate this system in a way that you don't have to be a major YouTuber in order, with a contact at YouTube, in order to resolve something like this in a way that isn't just the video gets pulled down. The trick there, though, is building a system that doesn't enable bad actors. So if you're the kind of person who is uploading harmful content, let's say you are recruiting to a terrorist organization or something like that, if they provide clear exact timestamps for what exactly was infringing, then you are enabling those bad actors to trim just that little bit and re-upload it and happily go along their merry way. Yes, everything we're doing is fine because we used this particular euphemism and left out that exact word, right? So it's a balancing act, but I would like to see them do better, and I think other than that, we can pretty much move on. Subscribe to Floatplane.
Yeah.
Oh, hilarious. Apparently, no, there are actually 2 official ways to watch that video that support Linus Media Group.
Oh.
On floatplane.com.
Yes.
Or... Hold on. I'm going to find it. Oh, man. Here we go.
Someone called it. That's actually really surprising.
Oh, bollocks.
I'm really Musky. Good job.
Oh, well, whatever. I'm not logged in, but
can you not watch videos unless you're logged in?
I have no idea. Sure, whatever. What is it? Ugh. Do you have to log into Bilibili to watch a video now?
You didn't used to.
Yeah, I know. Crazy. Okay. Well, anyway, yeah, our official Bilibili channel apparently has it with Chinese subtitles, so you can watch it there if you really want. All right. What do you want to talk about next? That's the big drama topic this week.
I've got something that's not on the dock.
Oh, sure. Yeah, hit me.
Why don't you... Actually, no, I'll just do it. Look at this.
Okay. Hey, LTTLabs.com. What exactly is it that you want to talk about?
You notice something?
From the lab. What is the right? Oh, there's a feed on the right.
These are blogs.
Oh, cool.
So we have mixed content now. So we have products on the left and articles on the right.
Very cool.
It looks a little bit different. You still got the color coding for the different articles and your little compare buttons, which look all nice and neat and all that kind of stuff. But we're trying to highlight some of the blogs and articles a little bit more. So I don't know. Check out the lab site. That's all I really have to say. I think it looks better.
Very cool.
More content there. Just having these, the products kind of gridded out made it, I don't know how to describe it properly, but I think having more stuff here is good. And having the articles listed here as well, I think is interesting because while you might be interested in individual products that are on the left, I think it's more likely that the articles will hit a broader range of people. So
yeah, Schwarzien says, I like that there's more above the fold. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
100% agreed.
It's good. I think it'll be good.
Very cool.
Good job.
All right.
Team.
What do you want to talk about next? How about...
should we do the thing we missed last week?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
Sure.
So this is honestly, even though, man, this kind of stuff is hard because it's one of those things where there's a bit of a disconnect between what I know cognitively and the general sort of state that I like to live in where I feel like things are mostly okay, you know? Cognitively, I know how possible it is with the tools that exist today to become a different person online or even fabricate a person online and use that identity to fool or in many cases defraud others, right? I know that we cover that stuff all the time, whether it's deep fake technology or using LLMs to generate sad stories on Facebook that send people to GoFundMe's or whatever it is, right? You can fabricate entire people out of the ether. I know that, but still, this read on IGN, which is probably the best piece of journalism I've seen from IGN in years.
Maybe years.
I was being nice. Let's go with in years.
Sure.
Was chilling to read. I would strongly encourage you guys. I'm going to go ahead and drop this in the Floatplane chat, and I'm going to ask Dan real quick to maybe repeat that link and huck it into the YouTube and Twitch chats. I would strongly encourage you guys to go read the whole article because we can't get into every little detail, but what I will give you guys is a summary, and basically what it comes down to is that Susan Banks, who was a prominent video game accessibility advocate and co-founder of the website CanIPlayThat, was thought to have died in 2019. But the report from IGN raises serious doubts as to whether she ever existed at all. She was supposedly a deaf Turkish immigrant who had worked as a model and financial asset manager before becoming a professor at a notable deaf university. But when IGN asked for comment, the university denied she had ever worked there. Between 2015 and her apparent death in 2019, she blogged extensively and often interacted with other advocates and news organizations. However, these interactions were exclusively through social media or emails, which most people attributed to her being deaf, which I can tell you from my own experience with the deaf community is a totally, completely normal thing. For them to prefer text communication. It's like my own mom is hard of hearing, and she taught at a school for the deaf for many years. That's the reason that I have picked up on some American Sign Language. And so, I'm already familiar with the kinds of accessibility equipment that existed before the internet was necessarily widespread. So like we had a TTY in our house, which is essentially a keyboard phone. And so you use it through like a relay operator to conduct phone calls, or at least you did back before, every brand had a live chat or whatever else. But you'll still find like TTY access numbers on things like government websites and things like that. But the point I'm trying to make is that it really would not have raised any kind of weird alarm bells if someone who is deaf or hard of hearing preferred to communicate via text and also preferred not to turn their camera on. So, moving on. If Banks is in fact a fake person, the most likely suspect seems to be her supposed romantic partner, Cody Craven, who facilitated many of her communications. According to an associate of Craven, Craven claimed that Banks was hospitalized after dropping a KitchenAid mixer on her foot, which resulted in the amputation first of one leg, then of the other leg 2 days later. When this associate contacted the hospital where Banks was recovering in order to send flowers, the hospital denied they had any patient by that name.
One thing that's interesting is, like, someone in Floatplane chat posted up like privacy policies and stuff like that. I'm kind of surprised you can just like call a hospital and figure out if someone's there or not.
No, you can.
Without having relations with that person or anything.
No, you can definitely do it. I had to do it a little while ago. You can definitely do it.
Intriguing. Okay.
Yeah, I think they kind of expect you to demonstrate a little bit that you like
know what you're talking about.
But no, it's definitely a thing.
Social engineering. Someone said in the Floatplane chat. Yeah, true.
So the associate then hired a private investigator who found no evidence or any legal record of Banks whatsoever. Craven, meanwhile, so this was the supposed romantic partner, was apparently showered in gifts and sympathy whenever he posted about his partner's illness and recovery. Since announcing Banks' death by stroke in 2019, Coty Craven has dated 2 other surprisingly similar deaf women whose existence has also come into question. After being reached for comment by IGN, Craven strongly requested that the piece not be published, then began deleting all of his social media accounts.
Not a good sign.
My notes continue. These kinds of bizarre schemes aren't new, but they're becoming easier to pull off with modern tools. In addition to entirely AI-generated influencers, there are apparently already several fake influencers created by stealing real influencers' photos and adding deep-faked AI faces to them. However, other influencers have made tons of money off people using their own faces, but otherwise fabricating facts about their life and circumstances. That's not really a however. That's in addition to.
Yeah. We know about the fake planes and stuff like that. What was the grift, though? Did they make money off this?
So the grift was... No, I believe there was at least... You got to read the whole IGN article to find all the details. But yeah, between things like requests for donations to help out and being an apparently sort of able-bodied person who could create this persona of someone who would have much more credibility discussing accessibility in gaming. You can create this, you can create Can I Play That? You can create blogs. You can get gig work as an advocate. You can create this career that ironically wouldn't be open to you as a completely able-bodied person, but would be open to you as someone who could speak authoritatively on the challenges that you face. And I mean, I think that's the thing that makes me most sick about all of this is like, really? There's not enough things that you could do that, like, you have to, from the people who have legitimate grievances with the way that the gaming industry has treated accessibility, who have legitimate voices that need to be heard in this space, you take advantage of their plight and you profit from it and you turn it into like a hustle that then substitutes their voice for your own. Like, I can't even begin to wrap my head, allegedly, around how sick this guy would have to be to think that that is even remotely okay.
Mm-hmm.
Allegedly. None of this proven in court, but read the IGN piece. It is actually worth the click. Go check it out. It is gross. All right, Dan, what are we supposed to talk about? Give us something better.
Another topic.
We've done 2 topics.
Then we can go straight into merch messages and announcements
stuff if you want.
Oh, well, why don't we do Luke Goes Back to PAX first? Okay.
Yeah.
The only comment, look at how useless the doc is here. My only comment here is Blue Water Grill is amazing. So, okay, help me out here.
I was going to write more notes for
Context,
it. Context,
please.
I'll just remember everything. It's fine.
And how'd that go?
Really well, actually. I remember everything. It's okay.
Okay.
Except for one extremely important detail, which I can look up.
You heard it from Luke. I remember everything. Luke left for any air, 2024.
Maybe don't extend that too far.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, I went back to PAX. It was an extremely last-minute decision, like in the week
I didn't think you were going.
PAX. I wasn't.
Yeah.
I had told people I wasn't going. And then I think it was like days before PAX. I was like, oh, I'm going. I was only able to go for one day. So after WAN show last week, Linus and I went and looked at the Badminton Center for a little while. And then after midnight, I finally went to go drive down to Seattle. So I didn't end up getting there until like 3 a.m.-ish. Slept for, a few hours, I guess, because I should probably still be down there for when the show floor opens.
Yeah, buddy.
And then stayed up until I think it was about 3 a.m. again before starting to drive home.
Nice.
Didn't get home until like 5-ish Sunday morning, and then had to go to my niece's birthday party breakfast, which started at 9.
Nice.
So I had a heck of a weekend.
So it was a PAX weekend.
It sure was.
Nice.
But I was only at PAX for one day.
Okay. This is still zero useful context, but thank you for that delightful and heartwarming story.
There was
I
some
hope your
things
niece had a
about
wonderful birthday.
One is, I think, there we go. I got
Little
the
kid
information
birthdays
I
are
needed.
always funny to me. They have no idea what's going on.
I have no clue at all.
Yeah.
So she's been scared of me. I'm going to tangent really hard here for a
Nice.
second. She's been scared of me forever.
I don't blame her. I'd rather deal with a bear. I mean, a real one.
My goodness. Oh, okay. Yeah, so she's been I don't know what it is. She just has always been very standoffish of me when I'm in person. They'll put on like the WAN show or something, and she'll point at me and know that it's me and be all happy. And when she goes to bed, she'll like say goodnight to everyone in the family, and she includes my name. Like, she seems to like me when I'm not there.
Right.
But when I am actually there, not so much. This time, there was like the tables that we were at had tablecloths that draped over. And she was sitting in I think it was my mom's lap, who was sitting next to me. And I looked at her and tried to talk to her, and she kind of stared at me for a second and then got under the table and then was like, "Hello," and started replying because she didn't want to look at me.
Kids deal the sickest burns because they have no filter. They just do what they feel, you know?
So brutal. Hopefully she'll,
I'm sure she'll get over it. She just needs to
accept my presence
She
eventually.
needs to get a little closer to your size, and then she might not feel like the tables are so one-sided here.
Yeah, maybe that's part of it.
Yeah, little kid birthday parties have always been funny to me because, like, man, especially with our first, when we were mostly dealing with other first-time parents and stuff, like the kinds of productions that people will do for a 1-year-old or a 2-year-old's birthday. And I would always just be looking at this going like, they aren't going to remember any of this. And when you try to sit them down in their teens or 20s and show them pictures of it, they're not going to give two hoots because they literally won't remember any of these people either. Like, This is, as long as you fully recognize that this is all for you, then they would have been just as happy with, like, I was going to say some packing peanuts to play with, but at least not without supervision. They would have been just as happy with an empty cardboard box to crawl around in. Then okay, you do you, but the amount of money people will spend on these parties, it just blows my mind. Anyway, I'm sure
theirs was chill.
Knowing your family, it was probably fine.
Yeah, theirs was fine.
Yeah.
And everybody had a good time. It was all good. But yeah, I know. Anyway, okay. Rewinding for PAX.
Yeah, Blue Water Grill.
The story of we're not at Blue Water Grill yet.
Okay,
the story
sure.
of getting down there is interesting because this is important because I forgot the name of the place.
Sure.
The story of getting down there is interesting because I did detail how late we got there. Right. So we didn't end up getting there until almost 3 a.m.
Right.
I went down with one of my buddies that I've known since like high school, and the room that we were supposed to get had one bed, but it also had a pull-out couch. Mm-hmm. So we were like, okay, cool, you can crash on that. We get to the room that we were supposed to have. There's no pull-out couch. Okay, cool. So we get checked in, no pull-out couch. I don't really care. I'm like, we can just do the over-under sheet thing. I've done this 100 times. It doesn't matter to me. But he was like, and I was like, I mean, we technically booked a room that's supposed to have this thing. We can call them and like see maybe they have another room.
Yeah. I'm sure they had plenty of rooms. I mean, it's not like it's the biggest event in Seattle.
Turns out, well, I mean, they still had tickets a couple days before the event. They didn't sell out, by the way. They used to sell it like that. You had to scrape the site to be able to buy tickets because they sold out so fast. They did not sell out this time.
Oh, that's rough.
Apparently, a lot more people went this year than last year, and they're expecting that growth to continue because there's like this resurgence post-COVID.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it's probably fine, but yeah, I don't know. But anyways, so they okay, sounds good. They switch us rooms. We get in there. We take a second to properly investigate because lo and behold, it's the same room effectively. It's on a different floor. There's still no pull-out couch. We don't know what's really going on.
Okay.
So we call down again. It's now been like half an hour.
And it's pretty late.
Really just want to go to bed.
Yeah.
But they're like, we can bring you a cot. And we're like, okay, sure. The cot rolls up. It takes a while, but it rolls up. looks amazing. It's just a full-size mattress on a wheel frame, so
Great.
it's like sick. Sounds good. We start going to bed. He gets inside. He's like, "Why is it so cold?" And I'm like, "What?" And he gets up and starts feeling around. The whole cot is just, not the whole cot, about 30% of the cot is just soaking wet. Like drenched. So we call down and we're like, "What the heck?" and they're like, "Okay, we can like try to bring you another one." They end up calling us back. We don't have another one. So we're like, "Okay." And they're like, "Well, we can just bring you like some extra blankets or something."
Bring you a hairdryer.
We're like, "Sure, whatever." Like it's now been like an hour. Just if you're gonna do something, great. If not, like whatever. 20 minutes later.
Yeah.
It's been a long time at this point.
Yeah.
I'm actively trying to fall asleep. I'm in bed. 20 minutes later, they call back up. "Hey, we're trying to find you a cot." Just stop. At this point, I don't care. I gave them like tons of bedding from the main bed. We just layered it up. It was fine. It was all good. In the morning, I'm like, "Can you guys like do anything
about this,
by the way?" Because that was like, we not only did we not get what we paid for.
Yeah. I feel like someone's about to get called out here, but carry on.
Yeah. But also, after multiple attempts of not getting what we paid for, it took over an hour that we wanted to sleep and we couldn't sleep. And the Westin said no.
They said no.
They said no because I booked it through Expedia, apparently. Which is not fair. And I'm not going to stop because I like Expedia personally, but this is not sponsoring us.
That's garbage.
So annoying. It was incredibly frustrating. It was a huge waste of time.
Literal garbage.
Soaking wet bed. And then we went to Blue Water Grill. The reason I wanted to call them out is because amazing restaurant that we used to go to every time we went to go to PAX, and it was packed every time we went there. You had to wait in line to be able to order. We walked up, nobody there.
Really?
Food still amazing. They said that there's a new convention building.
Yeah.
So they're still using the old one, but they're also using this new one. And they said that they think it diverted foot traffic because now people are going
it's like
to
not on the path now or whatever.
So people are going to restaurants that are in between the two buildings.
Got it.
They're not going to Blue Water Grill. Blue Water Grill has had to pull back their hours because PAX isn't the only convention doing this. So they used to get tons of traffic from the convention because they're really close to the convention center. So maybe check out Blue Water Grill. The food's still amazing to make good stuff. PAX itself was fun. The gaming halls, spent about 3 or 4 hours checking those out and then was completely done and okay with it.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah, that kind of makes
sense.
Not
that interested. There's this new theme where all the games are handing out like cards with QR codes on them to wishlist their game.
Oh, okay.
So back in the day, you used to get like shirts, and now you just have like a stack of
cards.
I could see people getting into that.
It might be more effective for the developers and publishers.
Yeah.
So like that's cool.
How about we meet in the middle?
That would be
Shirts
nice.
with big QR codes on them.
Horrible.
Free clothes for Luke, and you get people to wishlist your game.
Whenever you take a photo of someone, it's like that'd be pretty funny, actually. There was some.
We should do it. Just like
it'd be the
QR
floatplane
code
shirt could have like a QR code on the back of it.
Dude, I'd be so down.
That'd be sick.
People are saying that apparently it is standard practice that there's nothing that they can do when you book through third parties. And I had a similar experience.
That's ridiculous, though.
Okay. Oh, you know what this reminds me of? If you sign up for a subscription service through the Google Play Store, they like can't do anything for you.
I've noticed that.
You have to.
I've had that problem before.
I actually hate that.
Me too.
By the way,
that's insane.
But this may not be the Westin's fault entirely. Okay. They should have dealt.
My rebuttal to this.
I'm not taking a side. I'm not taking a side.
All right. My rebuttal, and I left the lady at the counter that said like we can't do anything. I left her alone. It's not she can't do anything about it. It's not her fault, to be super clear. But I don't believe that. Because none of this was Expedia's fault. They gave us the wrong room.
Yep.
They gave us the wrong room again.
Yep.
They gave us a wet cot, and they failed to solve that problem. Expedia did none of that. So, like, I'm sure there is something that you could do, and you're just trying to get away with it. That's how I feel.
I mean, at the very least, what they almost certainly could do is give you a voucher for the in-hotel restaurant.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Something.
At the very least, they should be able to do that.
Something.
All right. What is our next thing, Dan? Hit us.
Sure, let's do some merch messages. And
Sorry. One last thing about PAX.
Whoop.
They did massively expand the tabletop areas, though, and those are super sick now.
That's pretty cool.
They're like actually really cool. They have a huge tabletop free play area where you can play all these different games that people are showing off. The tabletop expo area itself is much bigger. And to be honest, I think that makes a ton of sense because the amount of games that are publishing demos on Steam now have massively gone up.
That's great.
So you could really go to the video game area just by staying home and playing Steam demos. But the tabletop stuff, you can't experience just at home.
Yeah.
So that part was really cool.
Gaming's coming full circle. Let's go.
We're going back. Yeah. And there's some really crazy good, like the Slay the Spire tabletop game is really highly rated. The Divinity tabletop game is really highly rated. I really like co-op tabletop games. And they had a whole section that was just co-op tabletop games. The whole thing was really cool, actually. So I was happy to see that they must have recognized this as well. Like the gaming area is less interesting than it used to. The video gaming area is less interesting than it used to be. Let's maybe expand tabletop. And the new convention building was like almost all tabletop stuff, which was sick. Anyways, that's it.
All right, hit us, Dan. Oh, we should explain merch messages. If you want to interact with the show, the way to do it is through a merch message. We don't do YouTube super chats. We don't do Twitch bits. We do... we do merch messages. So all you got to do is head over to LTTStore.com and add something to your cart. You'll see a little box pop up when we're live where you can leave a merch message. It'll go to producer Dan, who will reply to it. Bone bomb? Weird reply, but thanks, Dan. Good, solid effort. He'll forward it to someone internally who can address your question.
Hold on. Is that like a...
Tears of the Kingdom?
Oh, yeah.
Bone plus bomb. Oh, I couldn't see that. I couldn't see the plus from
I was like, that's got to be a gaming reference or something.
Or he'll curate it for me and Luke and sometimes Dan himself to reply to. So he's going to show you a couple examples of what that might look like. Dan, do you want to hit us with the merch message?
What's wrong with Luke?
No, sorry. I just saw something that we'll end up talking about later in the show.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I think Luke finally found the thing that you guys are probably going to be ordering. Sure, why don't we just show them that first?
I did. We can go to my screen, I guess.
It's the Community Guidelines t-shirt. If you didn't know, because you weren't here for the beginning of the show, we got a video taken down. And at this point, you probably do know, if you watch the WAN show, that whenever something unfortunate happens to us, we make a t-shirt commemorating the occasion. The Community Guidelines shirt, designed by the one and only Sarah Butt, will be available for a limited time. You can give us your impressions on the design. And like all of our... Is there a way to do that? I actually have no idea what they mean by that. Anyway, like all of our other limited edition t-shirts, this will be print to order on our custom soft and long-lasting LTT blanks, the ones that were rated so highly by Project Farm very, very recently. And they'll be printed by our local printing partner who just does such an outstanding job of the quality that... sometimes it takes us a long time to get things printed because it's a small operation and we just can't accept any substitute at this point.
I think it's really cool. That's a cool take on it. I originally thought it was just going to be the text that was originally discussed, and I was like, this is cool.
It's kind of a,
it's more abstract.
Inspired design by, the entity that might have had something to do with this whole controversy.
Oh, yeah.
If you look closely, there's no solution to that.
No, I got that too.
It's just, it's hard to... It can be challenging to navigate, the modern interwebs and all of its difficulties. And
it says a lot without having any text. I think it's great.
It says a lot. I think that... I think that Sarah did a great job. It's available now at lmg.gg/community guidelines. We're going to go ahead and throw that in the chat. Boom, 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 boom. And
the color choice? There's black. If you don't like the green, there's black.
There's other color choices.
There's black.
Yep, go for it, guys.
Easy.
All right, Dan, show us how merch messages work.
Sure, yeah, I've got one here for you. Linus, years ago, you offered to pay the reopening costs of an Asian restaurant in a mall that closed. You mentioned that they footed your bill once and won your loyalty. Did this ever come to pass?
To be clear, they credited me. They like gave me an advance. I did reimburse them for that lunch.
Yeah.
No, I never heard from them. I would have loved to. My offer is still open.
I know the exact place you're talking about.
I actually can't remember exactly what it was called anymore, but it was an Aberdeen mall.
Yep.
And it was just a delicious little pho place. Basil Leaf. It was called Basil Leaf.
Oh.
And they had this like egg jelly dessert thing that I really hated the first time I ate it. And then now I would probably if it was the only way that I could ever get it again, and if I had the opportunity right now, if he was like, I will make you one right now, it will cost you $50, I would probably pay for it. I would probably do it. Assuming it's a one-time thing, like I wouldn't buy it for $50 every day. That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
But I think to have it one more time, and remember, part of this is just having enjoyed it so many times. It's the nostalgia of enjoying it again. You could think of it kind of like buying a game that you played as a kid. You'd spend way more to kind of relive that.
It's also just like I still remember the first time I ate there with you, and you got me to get the dessert thing. And you got me to eat it, and I was like, this sucks. And you're like, yeah, you'll figure it out, or whatever. I don't remember exactly what you said. And then after a while, it was just like, oh my God. I need more of that thing.
Yeah, I know.
It's amazing.
So if the owner of Basil Leaf, if he's still around, if this ever makes it to him, I would be happy to help you start up again as long as I can come get that dessert again and delicious soup. And I will pay $50 for my first pudding. But after that, I want to pay menu price for the rest of them. Yeah, after that. Okay, what else you got, Dan?
Well, let's go through the rest of the announcements, and then we'll do another one at the end.
Announcements? Oh yeah, we have a few more announcements.
What the heck?
The Precision Screwdriver pop-up is tomorrow. This will be your opportunity to get hands-on with the brand new LTT Precision Multi-Bit Screwdriver in BitSet. We're going to be having testing stations where you can feel how it stacks up with the competition, and you'll be able to talk to our engineering team about the driver itself. You will also be able to purchase one of 500 limited edition numbered precision screwdrivers, as well as some other items from LTTStore.com. I don't want to say some of this stuff, but what I will say is please don't travel too far for this event. It's probably too late to book a flight anyway. That isn't a challenge. We really don't have a ton of capacity. We do not have a ton of capacity. So if you're local and you happen to need a precision screwdriver set, hey, we'll see you tomorrow, September 7th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Linus Media Group studio in Surrey, BC. You can check out our social accounts where we'll have more detailed information if you're swinging by. Also, the Precision Screwdriver bit set and case are releasing tomorrow if you are not able to come to the pop-up. Oh, okay. Oh, wow. So it's going to be available online Saturday, September 7th. We've shown it off a ton on the WAN show and in our videos. We're really happy with how it turned out. We can't wait for you to get your hands on it. And
what time? Because are we waiting for reviews to come in from the pop-up, or what's?
I think they're going live at the same time. Okay. If you want to be notified the moment it drops to secure yours, you can sign up at lmg.gg/precision. Pretty exciting, Dan. If you want to copy that link, we also have an update on the offsite laptop bag. We got some feedback about the offsite laptop bag that we launched a few weeks past. Some customers are incredibly happy with their purchase. Another review, exactly what I expected and needed. Some people are not as happy and felt like the messaging that we had on the site didn't line up with what they expected. So we hear that customers were disappointed with their purchase, so we've taken it down from the website while we do an update to some of the messaging to clear up some things about the bag's capacity, both in the description and in photos. As always, if you're unhappy with your purchase, reach out to support, and trust me, bro, we're going to do everything we can to make it right. That is something we've always been consistent about. If you were wondering, by the way, we are going to have it available at the pop-up. It's not a quality issue. It's an expectation management issue. So I had no qualms telling the team, yeah, go ahead, have it available at the pop-up, because if people can see it in person, then there's going to be no misunderstanding and no no false expectations or anything. It'll be what it is. It'll be right there, so they can buy it or not buy it. The last thing is, hey, Scrapyard Wars Season 9. Thanks to everyone who watched. Thanks to everyone who joined Floatplane to watch the extras and behind the scenes. Jawa has picked the winners of the grand prizes. The rigs we built this season with both of our signatures on each of them are going to Marcus R. from Texas, who won the OK system from Team Duke. And Diego V from Colorado,
Who won the cheater system from the
who
other
won
team.
the amazing build from Team Old Man.
The not actually winners.
Yeah. You know we won. You know we won.
Cheated.
You know we won.
You cheated.
I didn't cheat.
You did.
Tell me how I cheated.
Having the person that you pay collaborate with you on cheating doesn't make it not cheating.
Sorry, what? What are you even talking about?
Being able to go over budget.
I didn't go over budget.
You did.
I never went over budget.
You did, temporarily.
No.
Yep.
The money hadn't left my wallet.
No, that still counts.
If you
Buy something online with a credit card, that money is out of your account.
it is not.
Yes, it is.
It actually isn't.
It is, though.
It isn't.
If you place a purchase.
If you place a purchase, it is on your credit card, which you can pay in 30 days with money from your account. Actually,
So you're still over
If
budget
it's a
then.
debit card comes out of your account immediately,
Why would I use a debit card?
Visa pays for it for you.
Yes, they do.
Okay.
Yes, they do.
It's out of
that's
Visa's
still
bank
cheating.
account.
Congratulations to the winners, and a big thank you to
Not
Jawa
him.
for partnering with us this season. We'll have a link in the description where you can check them out.
Luke is going to destroy one of the computers
I forget.
now.
Dude.
It's going to go kick it over. They're just to your
Oh,
right.
yeah, there they are. I
gonna sign
forget
them?
what you guys did that I saw. I think it was in part 2
Sit
that
down.
was extremely questionable. Yeah, no. I saw you guys pull some... Look at him right now. He knows.
Luke is a flawless person who also didn't cheat at all.
Never.
What was it?
Nothing. We didn't go over budget.
No, I know that. No, that
course.
was it was your
only the cheater would
SSD
know.
nonsense. Dude, the fact that you guys got to sub out a better SSD,
Oh, yeah, but yours didn't even...
Highly
Yours
questionable.
wasn't even going to work,
yes it was.
which is why we were allowed to do that, by the way.
No way. Mine
It
would
was
have
below
worked.
capacity.
So, that was never a requirement.
He said it was for us.
Yeah, but he didn't tell me.
Yeah, well,
So if I don't know, I don't know.
maybe the guy that you paid was letting you cheat.
Oh, come on.
Because in the past, we would have had to go back and forth on any rule bending that
Oh,
was
that
happening.
is such a load of crap.
It's unfortunate that your win is illegitimate, but...
Don't make me call David. Don't make me call David.
I mean, you can call that guy that you pay to make up rules and let you cheat as much as you want.
You are going to besmirch the good reputation of one David Gauthier.
Oh, no, it's not his fault.
Wow.
You got to do what you got to do to get to, You gotta do what you gotta do. He told
Sorry,
me
that's unrelated.
in a post-event interview that he likes cheating, which is why he allowed it to happen.
Allowed what to happen?
You're cheating.
I didn't cheat.
You did cheat.
I didn't cheat.
You did cheat.
You know what? We will let you guys be the judge.
You'll have to watch.
The real ulterior motive.
No, I'm very angry.
Yeah, I
Linus.
can see that. We will let you guys be the judge because there is a tracker throughout, I believe, parts 2 to 4 of our existing balances. So we'll let you guys decide.
Does it include when you
It includes everything.
spent money on your credit card?
It includes everything.
Does it include you going over the budget when you spent money on your credit card?
It includes everything.
Did you go into the negatives when that happens?
It includes everything, Luke.
Does it show that?
It shows everything. It shows everything.
People are asking for a poll.
They want to pull?
Interesting. I think Luke regrets not doing the same strat. No, on camera, Elijah asks if we can do the same strat, and I say no because that would be too much cheating.
No, it's not cheating.
Unfortunately, it's
not cheating.
Yeah.
It's not. Well, we'll let the people who watch be the judge. I think he's lashing out
I'm extremely angry.
because what he's really upset about is his teammate choosing the worst possible benchmark and bucking up the overclock. See, we've done to the root of the issue.
No, dude.
Luke's
no.
a team player. Okay? Luke would defend a teammate to the death, no matter how wrong they were. So Luke has to attack me. But what he's really salty about...
cheater.
What he's really salty about
Wow, it seems like that poll is saying that you cheat. It's great having the vote blame.
The fact that only 60% of them are siding with you means that I won.
No, dude, no. Not
They
at all. Not at all.
always
Not at
side
all.
with you.
It looks like the next poll's results are definitely yes as well.
They always
Linus cheated 110%.
Look at this, you guys. Look at this.
Glory to the
They've got-
motherland.
They've got two. They've got two polls.
we're in the
Regular
way.
poll. No, that's fine. They can see it.
Yeah.
Regular poll and non-biased poll. Did you really spell poll wrong? Dang it, Dan. We're professionals here.
Well, maybe Luke is.
Because he cheated.
Oh man.
Yep.
Oh,
Professional integrity.
Speaking of issues with the last Scrapyard Wars, where the heck is my trophy?
Oh, well, you don't deserve one.
We didn't do trophies this year.
What?
We didn't do trophies this year.
I guess maybe David preemptively knew that he was going to allow you to cheat, so just
I'm
didn't even
gonna let you guys watch. I'm gonna let you guys watch the series. It's actually, I think, watching
It's
through
really
it,
good.
It's the best one ever.
I have too much like personal attachment to season 4,
Yeah,
which like
season
isn't
4 was
fair,
amazing.
really. But this, it's absolutely incredible.
The team did a great job.
If I was purely a viewer and I had to side by side one, this one's probably better. But I have working with Rod and the stuff we're able to do in season 4 and stuff was just like
Bob and Rod are such characters.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing.
And
the
systems,
experience of season 4.
The systems looked so good.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, I love having a teammate sort of regardless.
Mm-hmm.
And for me,
Teammate Scrapyard Wars is more fun.
even though it was really different, I equally enjoyed working with Bob and working with Sammy. Even though in the case of the fourth Scrapyard Wars, Bob's expertise was obviously way more applicable to what we were trying to do.
I don't
it was
know,
like
Sammy
modded systems.
with the desk
But Sammy,
and the setup stuff.
yes, which ended up contributing in a big way. But in terms of like which
The
one
computer
was
itself?
more helpful minute to minute, I couldn't just sick Sammy at like, okay, go do that, and then I can completely tune out. But I actually really enjoyed the different perspective compared to working with someone way more like-minded, like a Bob and Rod, where their interests are all like, the overlap with mine is a perfect circle. Whereas having Sammy, who is very different from me, provide that very different perspective and that very different skill set was a ton of fun. And I think what I would like to, if we were to ever do Scrapyard Wars again, I think I would like to try to capture that again, having like an odd couple vibe.
Contrast on the teams.
On the teams, yeah, exactly.
That's an interesting idea.
There's a reason they do that in reality TV. It's not an accident.
I feel like you probably feel the same way, I suspect. Even when you don't have a teammate, you end up like somewhat forming a team using the camera
operator.
Yeah. So like, because you're going through so much crazy crap. Scrapyard Wars is genuinely an insane experience
to film. Yeah.
So like
the ops end up super invested.
Oh yeah.
Every time. They're like behind the camera, like,
they're basically end up like fighting each other.
Yeah.
Because like the hosts are like fighting each other and the camera operators are like getting in on it. It's fantastic. It's very it's a little tribal. But it's kind of easier when your teammate is actually involved with the challenges and not just trying to capture the challenges in order to have that bonding stuff.
Ton of fun.
Yeah, it was great. You should watch it. Are we doing the all-in-one video thing? All Scrapyard Wars in one video?
Oh, yeah. That was something we were going to kind of prime you guys for. We're not really sure. We've never really done this sort of thing before, but like a compilation video. Lots of channels do it, like big channels, small channels. They'll put together a bunch of projects. Like kids channels will do this all the time. They'll have like 3 hours of just their videos just cut together and uploaded as one video.
I think it's particularly effective on kids channels, but I do see other channels do it as well.
But should we just cut together the entire Scrapyard Wars 9 and just upload it as a video? I don't think it would perform well out of the gate, but that kind of mega long form content, it would be almost 2 hours with all four pieces. Yeah. Can do really well on the channel. Are you guys going to be like mad if we upload that, or is that chill? Are we good?
It's a bit of a gamble. I would be very interested. Like I almost want us to do it just for the science.
DVD box set.
That is
we
kind
had
of what
actually
it is.
talked about it before, doing like a director's commentary, like Blu-ray. Remember that?
I think we almost, because it was for...
We talked about doing it on Vessel.
Yeah.
As like an exclusive, and then we just like never, because I remember. Oh, this is all coming back.
Cavco stuff.
No, we wanted to do it because we were like, oh, we could do that as like a virtual Blu-ray,
right?
And you could like buy it, and that was around the time we did the Christmas album, I think.
It was DRM-free stuff as well.
Yeah, we were experimenting with like
have your own copy.
digital releases, but like traditional media releases.
This is back when more people had like.
Yeah.
Blu-ray players and stuff.
Yeah.
Like people bought PlayStations because they wanted the Blu-ray player more than the PlayStation. It was a different time.
It was a very different time.
But it's an interesting discussion. I don't know. I'm not saying that we should do it necessarily, but I'm very interested in us doing it just for the science more than anything. Because I want to see what it does to the channel. I still think, I understand it's not clips, but I think it's a good channel to use for it. But I think the previous seasons should go up as compilations on LMG clips. I still think that would be cool.
I pitched as my sort of maybe solution that we do all the seasons on Linus Tech Tips, but we upload them like all at the same time. So we basically kill any notification viewership on them, and we just let them algorithmically
just boil over time.
Go out there and see what happens. Because there's a lot of videos that we have by accident released with a very, very small initial subscriber push. One of them is like a weird controller video where someone accidentally unticked notify subscribers.
Oh no.
Another one is one where we went live multiple times because of errors in the stream the previous day, and we had used up our allotment of notifications. So like a Saturday morning video that didn't get a notification. Like there's been times when it's happened. And in the end, it mostly comes out in the wash, and they tend to do okay as long as they're good content and the retention is good.
I know of a channel, I don't want to dunk on them, they're a friend. But I know of a channel that
I see.
Did this, and you can see the view impact on a lot of them, which was a dump from another platform, and usually they get like these numbers, and it some of them ended up doing okay in the long run, but the majority of them...
But give them time, let them cook. That's only a couple months ago. When I say in the long term, I mean over a couple of years.
Big long term, okay.
Yeah, like videos that go, they'll go.
Another interesting variable to try to keep in mind here, but it's going to be tough, is the impact of this on the individual uploads from the past. Because are you just cannibalizing those views, or are you getting new views?
I would suspect it's going to be, and I mean, this is pure speculation, but I would suspect that it would be mostly net new. And the reason I say that is because the YouTube audience is unfathomably big. Mm-hmm. I think that we think of ourselves as sort of understanding the size of it. We don't understand the size of it. I mean, look at what's been happening with Cristiano Ronaldo. The idea that 50 million people could be subscribing to him in a span of how many days was it?
I don't know.
Soccer player.
No, I know who it is. Did they start a YouTube channel?
Yeah, he started a YouTube channel.
Do you mean football? Oh, 2 death looks. That's
great. So he's up to 58 million.
And he started a couple days ago?
Yeah.
Whoa.
So that should give you some idea.
Oh, dude, he's killing it.
That should give you some idea, dude.
It's not a few days ago, it's a couple weeks ago.
Whatever. The point is that the audience is huge. The appetite for content is huge. The number, however many people you think, like I used to always tell you, like we're going to reach a saturation. There's no way you can get more than 100,000 views on a video about a hard drive. There's no way you can get more than 250,000 views on a video about a CPU. There's no way. Like I've been saying this over and over and over again. And then at some point, you might have noticed, I stopped saying it because the audience is unlimited. As long as you're passionate about what you're talking about, as long as you can make it engaging and entertaining, you can make a video about anything and you can get millions and millions and millions of people who are into it. I mean, our biggest video ever, our most viewed video ever, is building a PC using only wish.com. All I do is build a computer.
That's our biggest ever now?
If you had asked me, it's a really funny video. Have you ever watched it?
R.I.P. Fire Truck Dude.
It's really funny.
Go
the point
Fire
is,
Truck video. Bring it back.
The point is, if you had asked me when I started the channel, back when a huge YouTube channel might have 100,000 subscribers, right? If you had asked me, could there possibly even be 23 million people on Earth who would sit and watch a video about building a computer? I'd have thought you were high. Like, your guess is high. I would never accuse someone of partaking of...
Of course not.
How
could you?
I would have thought something like that to be unfathomable, right? But it absolutely is fathomable. It's fully fathomable. And so I forget what point I'm trying to make right now, but the audience is enormous. Don't underestimate it.
Hey, how to build a PC, the last guide you'll ever need. Didn't that do poorly when it first launched?
Yeah.
11 million views.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
It's cooking, dude.
You gotta understand what you're uploading. You gotta know, okay, is this a slow burn, or is this something that's going to be a short and bright burn and then just fade into nothing? And there's both of those, and there's everything in between. In fact, how to build a PC. Hold on, PC. We've actually uploaded 2 how to build a PC, the last guides you'll ever need. And you can actually see, if you look at the analytics here on the more recent one, which is updated, like it's an updated version. So if we dig into the dashboard, look at this garbage performance in the first 3 days.
Never stops.
533,000 views. And like, remember that time you uploaded that video, how to basics, how to install a GPU?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go find it. I'll go find it after this.
Okay.
It did horrible out of the gate.
Yeah.
We got
not only did it do
on.
horrible, people were mad.
They were so mad that we would upload a video that was so basic, just how to install a GPU. They were furious. We'll get back to that. But first, this one, you can see absolute dog crap performance. What's this?
Cooking.
It goes into the typical band and escape velocity, let's go, because it's a different kind of content. It's designed for a different kind of engagement where people are being served this video because it is an incredible resource. And it is we believe, ultimate guide to researching, learning how to spec, how to understand what you're doing, and ultimately how to build a PC. Sebastian from the Creative Warehouse engineering team said that you can see on the old one when the second one was uploaded, looking at its analytics. Oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense, but is super interesting. That totally makes sense. Here, we'll play dig around in the dashboard with Linus here. Yep. Okay. Yeah, it makes sense that it would flatten out a little bit. Yeah. But you can see, actually, if we go... Start getting some views, but... There used to be a really easy way to zoom in. There was a little interface down at the bottom where you could just kind of drag the window for what period you want to look at. Is it a drag select? Like, can you click on the thing and then drag it across and then unclick? And No, they just took away that. And every time they ask me, hey, what features do you want to see in the dashboard? I tell them that. Not less features would be nice. Every time they just don't do that, which is... Well, as a person guys, I know that I can key in a custom value, but it's tedious. As a person who runs a development team with people who ask them for features 100% of the time, I can sympathize, but also we don't have the people and resources that they have. Yeah, they're literal Google. And it's a feature that they used to have. Just don't take it out. Okay. This one is a little less obvious because I think they've actually changed the interface, or rather, they've changed the way they collect the data with old videos. So you can see it's just showing daily views for whatever reason, and I think I have to go into advanced mode in order to see the lifetime thing. So yeah. Like, this is clearly not helpful. But the point is that it started with really, really poor stats. You can see it recovered somewhat, not entirely, but people were freaking freaking angry.
They're genuinely furious
about this one. They were really.
If I remember correctly,
really
I would check the comments now, because the top voted comment when this first released was just like rage.
The comments are probably fine now.
Probably.
Instructions unclear. Jammed GPU into RAM slot. Now have GDDR5 RAM.
Nice. Heck yeah.
I was expecting eggs and disgusting things happening. Yeah, it was kind of a play on how to basic. It was like how to basics, but it was like real basics.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this is all fine.
Yeah, it was rage back in the day.
Yeah. Well, look at me replying to comments.
Wow.
Yep. Anyway. Oh, this is great. This is amazing. What a great, insightful comment. Rather touchy audience you've built here. Great video. Like, yeah. The more things change, the more they stay the same. Appreciate you all, really do. Oh, what are we supposed to be doing, Dan?
I got one more merch message for you, and then we'll move on to some more topics.
Little did they know it was going to get worse. Sorry, keep going.
Lies continue. Love you. Hey, low density lipoprotein.
Disorderly implant.
Hello, low density lipoprotein. Did y'all get access to the 7600X3D? What do y'all think of it being a Micro Center exclusive?
I did actually have our CEO, Taryn, who is down in California right now, ask if we wanted one. And I basically said, I would like to give Luke some time to work with the labs team and get our processes in order before we tackle any benchmarking videos other than the ones that we need to. This is such a low impact product because it's exclusive to one US retailer that I don't think it's necessarily relevant to the broader audience, and I'm sure there are going to be folks out there that are going to cover it sufficiently. I just didn't feel like we needed to throw our voice into this one.
Yeah, I agree. Do you think this is just like a weird binning thing where they just had a bunch of CPUs they didn't really know what to do with, so they were like,
Almost certainly this is going to be the leftovers of dies that didn't manage to make the cut for any other 3D Vcache product.
Yeah.
And they have so many of them that it would be wasteful to throw them away, but not so enough. Many of them that they can justify a broader release of the product and guarantee that they're going to have any kind of ongoing supply of it, that they wouldn't have to then salvage from higher tier products. So the way it used to work is that if you had a lower tier product like 7600X3D, you would release that, and then if someone wanted to buy a 7600X3D, but you didn't have enough dies that failed to be a 7800X3D, you would just take 7800X3Ds and you would fuse off some of it and you would just sell it as a 7600X3D. But they just don't really do that anymore because capitalism basically, and in fairness to companies like AMD, I suspect that times are a little bit tighter. There have been certainly
for everybody right now.
There have certainly been plentiful times for the IT industry, but right now, wafers cost more than they ever have. Getting the most out of every die is definitely something that at the very least your shareholders want to see. And so it's disappointing to me that we can't continue to just kind of, I don't know, sell a 7800X3D as a 7600X3D and just kind of eat the margin on it in order to serve that lower budget customer, right? Because at the end of the day, that is how many low budget chips existed in the past, was them blending the costs on these products and basically going, okay, as long as we don't sell too many of these and we position them, we cut them down enough that they're not too enticing, we can continue to sell the higher end one. We can make a profitable model out of this, and those are still there. They're still available as a budget option. That just doesn't really exist anymore. And I do think that this product would not suffocate, would cannibalize the 7800X3D in a big enough way that if they released it broadly, they would effectively be discounting those dies that they could have sold as 7800 X3Ds. Sorry, this is a long and convoluted way of saying, I don't like it. I get it. Congrats to anyone who lives near enough to a micro center that they can go pick up one of these because it looks like an outstanding gaming chip for a pretty decent price.
I don't love it, but I don't think I would do anything else if I was AMD, really. Like, it makes sense. It just kind of sucks if you... if it is the thing that you would want to get and you can't reasonably get it. I have a really random aside. I saw someone say, I live really close to 2 micro centers, LFG.
Let's go.
Yeah, basically with a little F in the middle there.
Yeah.
That acronym confused me for a little while because on certain sentences that I saw it being used with, it like could have been looking for group.
Oh.
And I was like,
yeah, okay.
What? This only like sort of makes sense. Like it barely makes sense. And then I finally figured out that it was let's go with an F in the middle.
Took me a little while to realize people weren't talking about American Sign Language.
That's pretty good. You want to know one that
chat rooms
still screws me up a little bit?
Yeah.
OFC?
Of course.
I very legitimately thought it was of with an F word in the middle course for a long time.
Really?
So I thought people were like really upset or angry when they were using it. And after like quite a while, I think I heard someone else reading it out loud and they said, of course. And I was like, oh.
Yeah, no, it's not aggro.
I thought it was like super aggro for years. Yeah, there's people saying, yeah, I thought it was that, but apparently it's not.
No,
a lot of people don't use they use it as of course.
Yeah, and it's a super weird one to me because most of the time that's not how that works.
No.
Yeah.
So I man, and like I used it that way for a long time, and I don't think people necessarily understood that I like. Well, yeah, it was there's a little bit more emphasis behind it.
Oh, that's great. My probably,
and I still read it that way, and then have to like mentally correct and keep going.
My personal favorite is that Dennis, for the longest time, thought FTW meant Taiwan. So he would just see it all over the place and be like, why do people hate Taiwan so much?
EVGA had FTW cards back in the day. That must have been really awkward.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Amazing. Love that guy. All right.
Acronyms.
What are we supposed to be doing, Dan? Keep us on track here.
What else do we got up here? GDPR as a service? What?
Oh, my goodness. This is going to make you so mad.
Oh, boy. Multiple sources have noted a general rise in consent or pay GDPR pop-ups, aka cookie walls. These pop-ups, instead of offering the option to accept or decline cookies, offer only the option to accept cookies or pay a fee or a subscription. This would, on face value, appear to violate the text of the EU's General Data Protection Regulation, which requires consent to be explicitly requested, easily withdrawn, and freely given in quotes, with an equivalent method of accessing the content without accepting any kind of tracking. However, this year, the Spanish Data Protection Agency released a use guideline for cookies that clarified that this alternative did not necessarily have to be free of charge. This seems to have made several companies much bolder in offering expensive subscription alternatives that casual browsers are unlikely to pay. It's unclear at this point whether the rest of the EU will support this interpretation. What the heck are you doing?
Oh, sorry. The Guardians is not one of those. Sorry. They have a really, really big cookie pop-up, but it does not actually prevent you from accessing the site.
Did you say the Guardians or did I say the Guardians?
I brought up a thing. They just get really sad about it when you don't accept cookies.
Oh.
Yeah. So,
okay.
Yep. No. Hold on. If you guys can think of an example of one that actually prevents you from accessing it.
I don't personally know of one.
Yes, and in the chat, I've seen it. I've come across it clicking things in my Google News feed. Like I just can't click through to it unless I accept cookies. They're like, you can either pay or you can accept cookies. If you say, no, I don't accept cookies, they just are like, okay, see you later.
I don't know.
Oh, I think we're about to get a hot take, folks.
Maybe. As a website owner, obviously, I don't want to do this, but I feel like is it not up to the website owner to decide how people interact with the website? And this is transparent in that form. You're telling people you have the option to just not go to the website.
You do.
It's not life or death to go to this website or not.
You do.
It sucks, but I'm just going to leave your website and go somewhere else. So,
interesting.
I don't know.
I don't think this is what the EU had in mind with GDPR. I think that what they had in mind was transparency around cookies and otherwise the service being unimpeded.
I think that's why it doesn't bother me that much, is I still prefer this over what we had in the past.
Yeah.
I don't want people just forcing cookies. So if you're like, hey, I would rather you either aren't on my website, you have cookies, or you're paying to be here, I have the choice to just be like, well, then I'm just not going to be on your website. That sounds like a exchange to me. That's going to bother some people, I'm sure. Here's an example. Somebody found one. Okay.
Can I go to Luke's laptop? I might take him up on that.
Yeah, I think you can.
Okay, here we go. There we go. Read with advertising or subscribe. Yep, this is it. This is the one. Thank you very much for the link, Ivan B. in Floatplane Chat. This is a perfect example. Here you are agreeing to get a bunch of ads. I mean, in fairness to your take, even though that may be a somewhat unpopular take with some people.
Oh, yeah.
In fairness to your take, this is very transparent.
Yeah. My biggest thing is I need it to be transparent. That was my issue with cookies forever, is so many people didn't know that they were being tracked. So many people didn't know. I guarantee you now, a huge percentage of people don't realize that they're being tracked, that advertisements are being pointed directly towards them based on their own data, all this other type of stuff.
I'm going to blow your mind. Some people like it.
Yeah, I believe you. I know you're correct.
I have literally seen people complain earnestly, like not just trolling, complain about getting irrelevant ads. They're like, I use ads to like find interesting things to buy.
This is the we were talking the other day about I was watching a live stream for Stormgate, and this is not against Stormgate at all, to be clear, but there was a like dog style combat unit on the screen, and the Twitch chat blew up talking about how they wanted to buy all these different skins for the dog unit, and I'm like what happened to gamers? I don't get it. I'm not. Is it me or is it the kids or whatever? However that quotes goes. But yeah, this is one of those situations where like I'm at least happy that this wall is here. And if I'm the host of this website and it's like, you know, I don't want to have people on my website that aren't either paying or sharing their data with apparently 156 partners, then yeah, I mean, I think that's fine. Your website's going to get a lot less traffic. You're probably never going to go viral or pop off or any of those types of things, but that's the decision that you're making as a web host. I don't know. I don't think it's going to go well for you, but it feels like to me like it's something that you should be able to do.
Dude, if you hate people trying to buy skins for the dog, don't watch Elijah's Ultimate Tech Upgrade.
All right. I will not do that.
I spent a not insignificant amount of it and our lunch. We headed to Seven Oaks Mall for a crew lunch.
Cool.
Trying to convince him to sell his, what's the, I forget what they're called. Not U2s, the other one. The more popular one.
I don't know, dude.
The little figures.
Bobblehead things?
Yeah.
Sure. I have no idea.
Shoot. Whatever. Funko Pops.
Yeah.
Yeah. I spent a not insignificant amount of it trying to convince him to sell his collection of Funko Pops.
Yeah, because he has like a genuinely insane amount, doesn't he?
In the video, he says, yeah, if I sold them all, I could probably be completely out of debt. Yeah, that was the look on my face.
Doesn't he? Whoa.
Okay. I don't think he was necessarily including like a mortgage.
Okay.
But like the worst kind of debt.
He has credit card debt?
I don't know if it's credit card.
Okay.
I don't know if
you're sitting on that. Oh. Okay.
I don't know if it's student loans or credit card.
Now I didn't even watch it, and you've bothered me so much. Okay. Student loans? Okay, it could be student loans.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
That's way more reasonable.
It could be anything.
Let's assume it's not credit card debt.
Let's assume it's not.
Okay.
Let's assume it's not.
Cool.
But if you have any kind of debt other than a mortgage,
Totally.
and you have something of significant value, guys, you are going to be blown away by the sheer volume of plastic in Elijah's home.
Ooh, interesting. Does this make do I suck? Because if it was Lego, I probably wouldn't judge as much.
Yeah.
Does that make me suck? Probably.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take that. Sure.
Yep. Yeah. No. And to be clear, like I fully acknowledged to him that there have been things that I have collected. I forget what the example I gave him was.
You got Lego? You got a nice Lego?
Yeah, I've got
piano
Lego
thing and stuff.
I will tell you this: I didn't have any Lego until my house was paid off. So
yeah,
there's that. But I definitely had a nice computer.
I'm saying we because you are in this category, even though I always get called out for it, which is fair. But you are also in this category. We are both very cheap. You don't get to completely squirm away from this one.
No. I've never denied it, and as the company has grown, my mentality around it has changed a lot.
Yes,
like I still don't like wasting money. I would rather spend $10,000 than waste $10. If you know what I mean, like wisely spend 10,000 than waste 10.
Yes. Yeah.
But no, I was still able to come up with something that I collected, and there were definitely impractical purchases I made. Looking back, buying designer breed cats was like the stupidest fucking thing ever. I wouldn't do that again. In fact, I don't. Our last 4 cats literally were
rescued them from outside your house,
scavenged from our yard because they were little kittens and they were going to die, and then scavenged from the shed of our neighbor's friend because they were little kittens and they had no home. Like that's where you should get a cat from. Like I have made mistakes.
Sure, we all do. Yeah.
But I just, it was a very painful theme for me to be surrounded by so much value of stuff when there are clearly higher priorities. But you know what? The thing is that
to each their own at the same time. If you enjoy something, if it genuinely... See, I think my biggest problem with it is I cannot relate to it genuinely bringing me any form of happiness at all. If it brings him happiness, if he thinks it's genuinely worth it, all that kind of stuff, you know what? Go to town.
Okay.
It's just, I'm just personally not into it.
What if it genuinely gives people happiness to put a Dalmatian skin on that dog?
Skins.
What if it genuinely gives them happiness?
I still... It's like that thing where like I'll fight for your right to have an opinion that I don't agree with. It's like that kind of a thing. Like, sure, dude, do whatever if it makes you happy. I don't think it's cool. And if I see you running around in a video game with like a $400 skin, I'm going to laugh. But I'm going to defend my right to laugh at it too. But you know what? If it genuinely makes you happy, that shouldn't bother you. Who cares what I think?
Well, except that it does impact you because it has changed the entire calculus that game developers use to develop their product.
Yeah, because like Funko Pops haven't changed anything for me.
No, they're just random plastic that some people can buy.
So maybe that is why. Yeah. Good job. Yeah, because that sucks. And it hasn't infested everything.
Yep. And Elijah made
a lot of stuff.
Elijah made some wise choices. Most of his upgrade was really centered around his streaming setup. And he's apparently averaging about 80 concurrents now, which is...
Good growing.
Which is something. That doesn't maybe sound like a lot if you compare it to the likes of Summit or whatever.
It's a lot when you compare it to grinding at one viewer,
the
0
literal
viewers
millions of people that are streaming to nobody.
I'm pretty
right
sure,
now.
genuinely, having 80 viewers puts him in like probably top 1% or less.
Oh, he memes now because
I think it's above 6.
He's in the top 0.3% on the platform now.
Yeah, like 6 viewers is top 1%.
Oh, that's what you're saying.
Yeah. No, he's up there in the best.
Yeah.
And so
like,
he's actually
it's big moves.
So I was very encouraging of like anything he was doing to improve the stream.
Yeah, that's cool.
Except
And he cares about it a lot. I know that part.
I found a box of model rocket engines.
Oh.
Yeah, the face you're making tells me you don't know what he's planning to do with it.
Oh.
He apparently already tried this once, where he tried to do a rocket-assisted punch using 3D printed like gauntlets and burned his arm. I tried to confiscate them. Colin wouldn't let me.
I mean, you can't like steal things from his house.
Well, I told him I'd pay for them,
Okay, that's an ethical.
but
way
I
of doing
didn't
that.
want him to have them
Yeah,
because I think he's going to do it again.
you shouldn't have paid for them though, because then he's just going to buy more. That's not very effective.
Interesting.
You should have just stole them. The ethical thing would have been theft.
I think you're actually right. I think the ethical thing to do would have been to steal them.
Yeah.
I could still do it. I mean, I know where he lives now.
Yeah. We're going to have to do that.
I think, okay.
You're going to have to get, yeah.
I think it's the right thing to do.
Sometimes theft is
Actually the answer.
yeah.
I told him. You can watch iShowSpeed. You can enjoy iShowSpeed.
Don't try to jump over a
Don't
car.
model your life after iShowSpeed.
Yeah. When he set his house on fire, it was fake, wasn't it? I know Kai Cenat's was.
I don't know.
Don't set your house on fire.
Yeah, don't set your house on fire.
Wait, he didn't do it inside, did he? The rocket punch?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. He just shouldn't do it at all.
You never really know.
Look, Elijah's precious, and we must protect him at all costs, even the cost of stealing his things. Oh, speaking of costs, it costs a lot to sponsor this show.
Yeah.
The show is brought to you today by LG. Do you not lift like Dennis? Thanks to our sponsor, LG, you don't have to at all. The Gram Pro 17-inch is thin and weighs just over 3 pounds, about the same as 4 to 5 medium bananas. But don't let its lightweight design fool you. It delivers top-notch performance with color performance covering up to 99% of the DCI-P3 color gamut and variable refresh rate of up to 144 Hz. LG also recently announced at IFA that their LG Gram will be part of the Intel Lunar Lake launch. This will make the LG Gram 16 Pro the first on-device AI laptop from the Gram series. This new CPU will offer up to 48 neural processing unit tera operations per second, and you can stay tuned for more updates on the launch later this year. But if you want to grab your Gram today, because none of the AI stuff means anything to you, you can check it out at lgnewsroom.com or at the link in the video description. You might have noticed we're actually using LG Grams on the show, and the displays do in fact look beautiful. Speaking of building things that are beautiful, the show is brought to you by Squarespace. Imagine starting a badminton center and already dealing with a ton of headaches. Oh man, I haven't even told you guys about the latest headaches. Only to come home and still have to code a website for your business. What am I looking at here? Our sponsor, Squarespace, makes building a website easy. Thanks to Squarespace Blueprint, a tool designed to give you great layouts and styling options so your website is optimized on every device, it is now easier than ever. They also have integrated and optimized SEO tools that help your site rank higher in search results. And if you plan on selling products, Squarespace makes checkout seamless with simple yet powerful payment tools. They accept credit cards, PayPal, and even Apple Pay to give your customers flexibility. And we love Squarespace so much, we even use it for our Linus Media Group website. So don't wait. Start building your website today and get 10% off your first purchase by visiting squarespace.com/WAN. Finally, the show is brought to you by 1Password. Imagine your customer's security like a college campus quad. The nice brick paths represent company-owned devices, IT-approved apps, and managed employee identities. The shortcuts through the grass symbolize unmanaged devices, shadow IT apps, and non-employee identities, like Colton. Most security tools only work on the brick paths, but many issues arise on the shortcuts. That's where our sponsor, 1Password Extended Access Management, comes in. It brings all those unmanaged devices, apps, and identities under control, ensuring strong and protected user credentials. They address issues that traditional IAM and MDM can't handle, and it's available for companies with Okta and coming later this year to Google Workspace and Microsoft Entra. Check it out at onepassword.com/WANshow. All right, Dan. Why don't you hit us with some merchandise massages?
Oh. Okay.
Okay.
So massages for you. Hi, LLD. Recently a DLC for... Oh, yeah, sorry. Hi, LLD. Recently a DLC for Risk of Rain 2 came out that brought a lot of bugs and tarnished the game after the CO Hoopu sold to Gearbox. Do devs that sold their IP deserve money for their game being defamed?
No.
I mean, yeah, once you sell it, like it's kind of like
This is why
it's kind of like when George Lucas whines about what Disney did to Star Wars. It's like, first of all, look in the mirror, brother, and second of all, you sold it. I don't really Do devs that sold their IP deserve money for their game being like kind of screwed up? Yeah, no.
because
once you sell it, you give up control.
And this is why you didn't sell Linus Media Group. Well, not why. It was part of why. Like it's you're relinquishing everything when you sell it. That's the whole point. You don't get to get your cake and eat it too.
Yeah.
It's not yours anymore.
Yeah. So, sorry, I realized I was mic'd there because I was eating a bite of my pizza. I was saying it's kind of like, George Lucas whining about what Disney did to Star Wars. Like, first of all, look in the mirror, buddy. And second of all,
look at McAfee.
You sold it. Yeah, you sold it. Yeah, well, yeah.
There's a lot to unwrap there.
Yeah, that's a deep rabbit hole. You won't be able to look at them very easily today.
Oh. Oh, my.
I mean, shovels exist.
Oh my! If that's even what happened, nobody knows. But yeah, I don't know. Like that sucks.
McAfee didn't kill himself.
I feel bad for them. But at the same time, you sold, right? Like that's what happens when you sell. It's not yours anymore.
And your customers have every right to be angry at you for selling out, because that's literally the definition of selling out.
And they can also be angry at the company that ruined it.
Yep, they can be angry in general because this is something that they loved. There's nothing that they can really do about it. It is what it is, but they can be mad. Absolutely.
Yep. It's all part of it.
Hi, responsible, big and small one. There was once a time with...
You're responsible?
I don't know.
You get the responsible one?
They don't know me at all.
We're only described by size, and you get responsible?
Maybe they don't know how sized I am.
Or maybe... I don't know. I feel like they probably do.
They're wrong.
Anyways, we can keep going.
There was once a time with desktop CPUs in laptops, but due to Intel having only 2 gens per socket, it didn't make any sense. Why do you think we never saw that for AM4?
All right, I think you may have your wires crossed a little bit. There was a time with socketed laptop processors back in the day, and you could make the argument that part of the problem was that Intel would only support a particular platform with new CPUs for 1 or 2 generations. But the real issue was that the volume of those laptops that were sold were so little that even with multiple generations of CPUs going into them, you couldn't move enough of them to justify the R&D that it would cost to create them. Now that's separate from the once upon a time of desktop CPUs and laptops that absolutely exists today and absolutely did exist for AM4. Desktop, processor, laptop. Clevo is a company that does all kinds of wild stuff. And here you go.
Yeah.
This is from 2 years ago. The XMG Apex 15 Max with B550 chipset, AM4 socket, and RTX 3060. Here's the thing. Oh wait, this is just a German translation. The point is, XMG is just like a dealer for Clevo and some of the other ones don't spring to mind right now, but Clevo in particular has done a lot of desktop CPU laptops, and they definitely have existed for AM4. I'm not sure if anyone's done an AM5 one. I'm not aware of any, but I wouldn't put it beyond anybody. No, I haven't actually. I don't immediately see any. There's also not that much of a point these days. Like the mobile Zen 5 stuff is really, really good, and most of the benefit of these desktop chips is having a higher power envelope. But these mobile chips are the desktop chips are coming down in the amount of power that they need anyway, and these mobile chips are able to turbo a core or 2 cores up to frequencies that are on par almost in many cases with these desktop chips. And most of the loads that most people are using on a laptop are only going to take advantage of a couple of cores running at peak turbo anyway. So there's just not much of a benefit these days. And it's hard to create an attractive design that has to deal with all that heat when you're going up against products that are honestly pretty competitive anyway and are like this thin.
Okay, and last one for now. Hey, DLL, you never mentioned what part failed on the lowest rated PC. I'm really curious what died.
We still don't know. We didn't really invest a bunch of time in figuring it out because we just didn't really care. I mean, the whole point of that video was we bought the worst stuff that in many cases was really low rated because of its high probability of failure.
And then it failed.
What? All of them.
And then,
Wait.
So we're just looking at it going, like, okay, oh, well, it's dead now. We've made our video. I don't really see what else there is to... We made our point. So no further testing required. I mean, this is the thing that I feel like has been controversial at some point in the past, but once you know a certain amount about a product, I remember this coming up when we did our...
I'm going to go outside. I'll talk to you guys in a half hour.
I don't know what you guys think I'm talking about, but we did our True Wireless Headphones Roundup.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense, yeah.
When we did our True Wireless Headphones Roundup way back in the day, one of the initial categories or one of the initial evaluation criteria was comfort. Because from our point of view, it could sound like God's lips whispering into your ears.
But if it sucks to wear.
But if it was extremely uncomfortable, we weren't going to recommend it.
Yep.
So some people took issue with that particular conclusion because to them, comfort
cared about the audio quality.
Was not important. Like they didn't necessarily agree with the tiered approach that we had taken to whittling down our contestants. But the reality of it was we had like 50 wireless headphones. We couldn't put all of them through the suite, especially when, like, if we found something that had 35 minutes of battery life, who cares? If you're not even listening to an entire album before you have to charge it,
that's pretty annoying.
It's uncompetitive and it's not relevant, right? And so there are cases where, say for example, even if the performance did live up to what the manufacturer claimed, if the cost and utter inconvenience of using it, not to mention incompatibility with any other part of the ecosystem, already disqualified it from consideration, it's just not really relevant. And so in the same way, the lowest PC, we had evaluated it for what it was. A crappy computer that had a high likelihood of failure. Diagnosing what exactly in particular about it failed was not relevant for telling the story of this particular product or collection of products. It wasn't relevant to the story. All right, what else you got?
Oh, you want a fourth? Sure, why not? Okay, let's see.
Rule breakers.
It's cheating. Hey, Linus, Luke, and Dan. Oh, wow, a normal one for once. My wife is crunchy. Okay, never mind. I love to install smart home tech, but her friends and family think I'm causing health problems with all of it. Do you have any thoughts on its effects?
Well, if you wrap your whole bodies with just little, like, holes in particular areas with tinfoil, you're fine.
Yeah. Then they should be able to be crunchy, and still
sound crunchy
safe
as well.
I don't know. There's a subset of the population that seems to treat science like a sort of religion. And it works both ways. There are people who are pro-science who treat it like a religion, and there are people who are anti-science and treat it like a religion. But science is not a religion. Science is inherently different from that, in that it is constantly evolving and challenging itself to do better as a system of shaping our worldviews, theoretically. But because there are people on both sides of the pro or anti-science argument that treat it like religion, it sometimes gets extremely muddy. If you're dealing with those people on either end of the spectrum and you try to have a conversation about what our knowledge base tells us at this current time, you are bound to be met with resistance. So what I'm trying to say is, if someone believes now that Wi-Fi or smart home tech is harmful to the human body, you are unlikely to change their mind in the only way that could possibly change their mind, which would be to show them the facts about the impact of that radiation on their body compared to just an hour of sitting out in the sun.
Eating a banana. But I would say, if you want some amount of compromise, it might not be a bad idea to no Wi-Fi zone parts of your house. Like something Emma and I have started doing is a very hardcore no phones in bed rule. Not allowed. That's it. Just no like for anything. So it's
interesting.
And I genuinely think that has been life improving. Because even if it's like, I'm just going to degen and scroll on my phone, well, okay, get up.
Yeah.
Which I think is good, because half the time we're both so ADD that by the time we've gotten up, it's like, well, now there's things to do. So I'm not going to sit and just like scroll on my phone. So it might be a decent idea, just because I think a lot of modern life and a lot of people in modern life are too terminally connected to the internet to have certain areas of the house that like aren't.
And like the bed was your priority.
Yeah. There's other activities. There's things to do, like sleep.
Top idea.
Oh, that was dangerous. I didn't even do it. I'm just going to put that away.
All right. What are we supposed to be doing, Dan? Oh, more topics. Sure,
yeah,
we
let's
can do
get
that.
some more topics, yeah.
I think we have that power. Dude, where's my Tesla? According to the San Francisco Chronicle, Oakland law enforcement sought to obtain warrants to tow Teslas, not because they were parked illegally or were involved in any kind of illicit activity, but because they happened to be parked near possible crime scenes on 3 separate occasions between July and August of this year.
What?
Police apparently wanted to obtain footage collected by the car's external cameras. So by simply driving a Tesla and parking it somewhere,
oh, what?
You could be turning your car into a surveillance station for Oakland law enforcement. A representative of the Richmond, California Police Officers Association told the Chronicle that this is a common practice, and that officers will typically try to contact a vehicle owner to solicit voluntary cooperation, but they will resort to getting a warrant to tow the vehicle if they don't receive a timely response.
I'm just going to say, man, nothing really happens that makes me not... everything that happens in the automotive space makes me more and more happy that I have the car that I have. Nothing happens in the automotive space, really. There's like maybe something here or there, very rarely, that actually makes me like want a different car. All of this stuff is like, oh, sweet. My car will never be involved in this.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I don't want my car to randomly get towed because some officer dude is like, yeah, I could like another angle. Like, that sucks. I don't want to deal with that at all.
Tell me this, though. If they asked nicely...
Yeah, maybe,
and they were like, yeah,
probably.
Someone was mugged here and
probably.
Your car was parked there. Would you cooperate with law enforcement if it could help them track down some ne'er-do-well?
You know what I'd probably do? is I'd go look at it myself and then determine. Because we've seen enough not good stuff that I'd like to know, basically.
Yep, that's fair enough. Oh, speaking of law enforcement, unfortunately, the collab with the Maple Ridge guys on the big phone bust is not going to happen. Yeah, they need everything for evidence and whatever. We can't get access to any of the devices, so that's a bummer.
That sucks.
I had really hoped to be able to kind of talk through exactly how the scam works. I thought it would have been a really cool like public service PSA, public service announcement. But unfortunately, the wheels of justice turn slowly and really weirdly sometimes. So even though my understanding is they have like a ton of devices as part of the bust, they can't spare any because they need it. That's a bummer. No, this is a bummer. Windows Mixed Reality is disappearing. Now, to be clear, I don't care. I never really understood what the point of Windows Mixed Reality is. So maybe if there's someone who's an enthusiast out there, I'd love to hear from you. Because as far as I could tell, the main attraction for Windows Mixed Reality devices was just that you could run them in Steam VR. Like I couldn't figure out anything I needed to do in Windows Mixed Reality. So I don't personally care. But what is a bummer is anything that people have invested significant money into just going away. And that's what's happening. All those headsets, even ones that people paid hundreds of dollars for, some that launched as recently as October of 2020 and were sold until late last year, are set to be deprecated in version 24H2 of Windows 11, which will soon roll out to most users. Users who remain on 23H2 will continue to be able to use their headsets, but this will likely stop working by November of 2026. Furthermore, according to a former Microsoft employee, much of the system's backend will be difficult or impossible to replace, either because it's a black box to users or because it is completely lacking in public documentation. So guys...
So does this include HoloLens?
Apparently there was a cool Halo game? No, HoloLens is separate. That's augmented reality and it's its own standalone device.
It's called Mixed Reality on Microsoft's website.
Yeah, it's not the same as Windows Mixed Reality, though. It's a completely different...
Okay.
Business unit. Like it's a completely different. I don't know if it's a separate business unit, but it's a separate team for sure.
There's like big serious industry stuff that uses that. So I was going to be pretty surprised.
No. This isn't that. Okay, I am not. Nobody seems to. Nobody seems to. What even is Windows Mixed Reality? Yeah, we reviewed one headset
a long time ago,
and then had a bunch of brands like Samsung and Acer. I forget which one we covered, but we had a bunch of brands like, "Hey, do you want to cover our Windows Mixed Reality headset?" I'm like, no. Like,
a lot of brands jumped on it.
What would I even say about it? Well, Microsoft seems to provide a significant amount of resources to help them push their initiatives. This one just seemed extremely misguided.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't figure out who, if anyone, was asking for this. I don't even know what it did, really.
Nobody really knew what was even going on in like when they launched that. That was like the Wild West of VR. And I think they kind of did that and HoloLens at the same time and then just decided, all right, well, no one really liked this anyway, so let's just go the HoloLens route. Yeah. I wish they didn't pull support for it, but I understand them not wanting to drive it forward more, if that makes sense.
Okay, what exactly is it?
Great website.
Okay. Overview? Concept? No, let's do overview.
It levitates. Ooh.
What is it, though? Not that. Before you start? They don't say why I need
You're
it.
muted.
Oh. They never say at any point why I need it.
You might be Mute King now. I might have lost my title.
Yeah, I might be Mute King now. I'm going to do better. Yeah. This is full of how, but not why. Does anyone have any resources that might explain why Windows Mixed Reality? Like it seems to be just instead of Steam VR. Is that what it is? You get apps or like.
Is it like a runtime? Because there's Steam VR, there's the Oculus One. I don't know.
I don't know if anyone really understood what it was.
It looks like it's a runtime of some kind.
Blend of physical and digital worlds, unlocking natural and intuitive 3D human, computer, and environmental interaction. Yeah, but but is it though? Like what? Oh man, look at these amazing resources here that just don't answer my question at all. Okay. Well, troubling news. Anyway, let's see. Oh, do you want to talk about Concord?
Sure.
It was a huge news this week. I don't know if I've ever seen more. Actually, no, I lied. I think the Borderlands movie probably comes close to
more discussion about a thing nobody did.
More discussion about a thing absolutely nobody actually did.
Yeah.
PlayStation announced that they would be taking live service hero shooter Concord offline less than 2 weeks after the game's official launch.
Yeah.
This is huge, not because live service games don't get pulled offline all the time, but because the game had allegedly been in development for 8 years, costing
$200 million.
According to some estimates, hundreds of millions of dollars to develop.
I have no idea if this is legit. I've heard the $200 million price point thrown around a bunch of times.
I've also spoken with some people who pay attention to, PlayStation, who are pretty miffed about the whole thing in general, because this was just Sony, in their mind, chasing that live service game cash at the expense of the kinds of rich single-player experiences that PlayStation
really well known for.
Has been so well known for.
And honestly, how they won the current console generation.
Yes. And so they've been really frustrated that so much development has gone into this piece of crap that could have gone into games that they could buy for their flippin' PlayStation, and instead they have nothing to play right now.
Yeah. The only person that I know that played it or bought it is Conrad. And Conrad said that he thought it was pretty all right. If I remember correctly, he said he thought it was about a 7 out of 10.
While some argue the game was solid, there were some strange design decisions, such as encouraging players to switch characters on respawn to get buffs for their team, when players typically like to stick to their mains in character-focused games.
Hate that decision with a fiery passion. That was so dumb. Wow. And so I read that for the first time. I didn't know about that until I saw the WAN doc originally. I was skimming through topics and I saw that and I was just like, what? Are you kidding me?
You know what's funny is, as a casual, I'm like, oh yeah, that seems like a good idea.
But no.
Like encouraging people to try different play styles and blah, 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 blah. Like,
honestly,
I can understand.
I don't even agree as a casual. Because
well, you're not a casual, so
because fair enough. If you get tossed from
you know
one
how many hours
character
he
to
has
another,
in like League.
Those are old
so
hours.
just take whatever he says as the ignorant ramblings that it is.
A compliment on the WAN show? What's going wrong?
This is
Chat
not
help.
a compliment from Linus. The idea as a casual that you'll spend some amount of time getting used to a character, and then just as you're finally like you've learned most of their abilities, you're kind of getting the groove, and then it's like, nope.
Yeah, but remember, it would level things the other way as well.
Not really.
You're gonna have.
I feel like it would make it harder to catch up. Personally.
You're gonna have the obsessives that know absolutely every class
within 2 days because they stayed up for 48 hours.
But I think a lot of people jumping in would take. I think the intent was that it would take a little longer for people to master everything, and it would force people to kind of level themselves up in a more balanced way and maybe find new play styles that they otherwise wouldn't bother to find. I understand the intent.
But it's not going to happen. You have to understand human behavior.
But that's not just
what
human
you're going to
behavior.
get is
you need to understand that player-based behavior.
That too. But I straight up believe I can't say that I guarantee that this happened just because so few people played. But if a lot of people did actually play, I guarantee you a thing that you would have is people that immediately dodge on character respawn. So they're like, I don't want to play this, Alt F4. Promise you that would happen.
Yep.
There's so many things. If you are at a computer connected to the internet, the options that you have are practically infinite.
Yep.
If you spawn as a character that you hate, why are you going to keep playing? Just quit. People already dodge if they don't get to pick their favorite character in other games because someone else picked it and they are unwilling to take their second favorite character. Yep. Now you're going to give them a completely random dice roll? It's not going to work. Terrible decision. Hate it.
The game isn't dead per se. Game director Ryan Ellis says they're going to determine the best path forward. And in the meantime, every person who bought the game will be receiving a refund. So that's something. Although
that's very nice.
It's less of a gracious thing than it probably sounds like, because it's in the grand scheme of things.
Oh, because there's
not a ton of money.
That bought it.
This failure has caused concern about PlayStation's future live service titles such as Marathon.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of concern around Marathon. Hopefully it works out. I really hope it does.
In other news, maybe our phones really are listening. I have this is a particular conspiracy theory that I have absolutely gone full tinfoil hat on. I do believe that whatever people say, our devices are listening to us, because I have had experiences, and we've talked about it on the show.
I've straight up tested it, and people still, and like, just I don't know. Yeah, people just say it's coincidence. I'm like, come on.
It can't be. It can't be. There have been times when I know for a fact that, and not like I knew for a fact that I didn't click through that phishing email. Okay. There have been times that I have known for a fact that I didn't look this up on my phone, and I didn't look this up on a computer.
Or you didn't look it up at all.
I was just talking to people, and I have gotten ads for things. So in a recent pitch deck to prospective advertising partners, Cox Media Group, appropriate name by the way, claimed that they can listen to users through their smart device's microphone using so-called active listening software. This same pitch deck cites Amazon, Google, and Meta as some of the company's major clients. When reached for comment by 404 Media, Meta and Amazon acknowledged their partnership with CMG, but denied participating in this active listening program and made vague statements about how partners who were found to have violated their standards would be reviewed. This sounds an awful lot like the kind of couple degrees of separation that we see with these corporations, and say for example their delivery driver contracting partner, or warehousing contracting partner. Oh, someone got crushed by a forklift in that warehouse we don't own it, and we disavow that particular contractor. That warehouse, that company is going to be closed down and respun up by the money people, and then renegotiate a deal with Amazon overnight. Like, that's how the whole grift works. So yeah, maybe they didn't participate in Cox Media Group's active listening program, but maybe they participated in an intermediary who did participate, but they didn't know. The point is, I have definitely gotten ads for stuff that I've just talked about. Yeah. Google, meanwhile, appears to have responded by removing CMG from its list of premier partners. The pitch deck likewise claims that this active listening is legal and compares it favorably to a Black Mirror episode. It calls the company's own program creepy? Sure. Great for marketing? Definitely. That's a quote.
Oh, God.
Holy crap.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so speaking of that guy with the crunchy wife, certain parts of your house not having any connectivity.
I'm going to leave you to do a topic or two, because I drank all of this.
No problem. I'm going to watch the Minecraft movie trailer. I'm kidding.
Watch it. Watch it. I've already seen it.
What? No.
Don't watch it on stream. Just watch it and react.
Oh, is that going to be fun? Do you think it's going to be fun?
I don't know. I haven't watched it. We can watch it together. We're going to hold hands.
The stream doesn't get to see it, though?
No, we just get to see us start crying.
I can't hear it, though?
Well, I need to make that happen.
Do I need to hear it? 'Cause, they can't hear it, though, because it's going to play music and stuff.
I guess so.
Wow, this looks horrible. We're like 10 seconds in.
I'm watching it.
Oh, why is it live action? I am so tired of live action stuff.
Why would you even do that?
Oh, God. What?
I don't understand.
Why?
Okay. So is this like an attempt at a Lego movie, but badly?
Is this like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids? Like
it's got Jack Black in it.
They just accidentally fall into the Minecraft
fall
universe?
into Minecraft.
So he's Steve. I'm sure. And then these are just random humans, I'm assuming.
I guess so.
Okay. You know, the scenes that don't have people in them look a lot better. If they don't have people and they don't have Minecraft animals, they look a lot better.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, where is like the cutesy character? Like, is that the cutesy character? Because everybody has to have a cute sidekick.
You have to have a plush that you can sell.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Stuffed llama makes sense.
Except it's kind of icky.
Yeah, digital Legos.
The Minecraft movie is not targeting the original Minecraft audience. It's targeting the 10-year-olds and under. My kid thinks it's hilarious.
Obviously.
Cool. They said they don't care that it's bad because it's not meant for you. It's for kids. Okay. Well, when
I don't like that take.
When people make
a bad
good
take.
Kids content, it ends up being for everyone.
Yeah, you make good things for kids.
Like,
I mean, the one that I hear all the time is Bluey.
I was gonna say Bluey.
Bluey's probably the only example.
Sure, but that's good.
You just make a good movie that is just kid friendly. Like,
you don't have to be like, you're an adult. You don't get to like this.
Yeah.
You can make it for both people.
Like, what was it? The Lego movie. That did really well and was approachable for a lot of people. And
The Lego movie was great.
And was a kid's movie.
Everything is awesome.
Except the sequels.
If you live in the Lego universe.
Other attempt at doing that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Everything is awesome if you're in the first movie of the Lego movie.
Before it was ruined by being successful.
And if you make a spaceship, because that scene was awesome.
Yeah.
Spaceship!
It's all good.
Spaceship!
It was fun.
It was fun.
Even if it was just a advertisement.
Yeah.
But sometimes people with passion can make advertisements. With,
that are good.
You know.
Look at Dennis!
Yeah.
Dennis makes fun ads.
Dennis should make the next Minecraft movie.
No. Because he should stay here.
I mean, it's sponsored by LTTStore. I don't know. What about...
we do like all the topics?
No, there's still...
Okay, there's a bunch left.
A bunch
Never mind.
more.
I'll take it back. I'll do an AI topic because Linus won't care anyways. Federal prosecutor has been... prosecutor have charged an American musician, with defrauding multiple streaming services to the tune of $10 million using AI. Michael Smith allegedly used AI. That's the fakest sounding name in the world. So, I don't know. Michael Smith allegedly used AI to make hundreds of thousands of songs, which he then attributed to fake bands like Callous Post and Calorie Screams. Like bands that start with C and have two words. He then reportedly used bots to stream those fake songs billions of times and collected the royalties over $3,000 a day over the course of 7 years. Wow. Crazy. How many AI scams will we have where the illegal element of the scheme really has nothing to do with AI? A bunch of them, I'm sure. By the way, you misunderstood the Concord thing. You didn't get a random character on Respawn, just a small bonus if you chose to switch. Oh.
There, are you okay with it now?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Because then min-maxing gameplay is going to result in you switching characters, which people will do. People don't play games for fun anymore. Everyone thinks they're going to be MLG Super Pro. It's crazy, but it's a thing. You know it.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's like, I'm gonna be at the International Masters. I'm gonna be amazing. It's like, no, you're not. Just have fun. Anyways,
Connor is reviewing the video removal video right now with Ploof.
Nice.
So that they snagged me to ask me a couple quick things, and I was like, "Yeah, guys, don't be here till 1 a.m. Just if there's a little bit less, visuals and animations than usual, like, come on."
What are your thoughts on the Minecraft trailer? Have your kids seen it? Here's a good question.
No.
Okay, I wonder what your kids think. Because everyone in the Flowplane chat was like, it's not for you. It's for kids. And I was like, content can be
my kids wouldn't even know who Jack Black is.
If that matters, then it's for adults. So your argument sucks.
I can say what I think about it.
Sure.
I think there was actually some really good material there.
Oh, I didn't have audio. That might have heard it.
No, there wasn't much. There wasn't much in the way of audio. I think the movie could have actually been really cool if they went super meta on the whole thing. At the very end, they're like, "Who are you?" And Jack Black stands there looking like Jack Black, like he's going to the grocery store.
And he just says Jack Black.
And he says, "I'm Jack Black." And if it turned out that like he was streaming Minecraft or something, like I think there could have been room for them to go like super meta, and he's like a celebrity streamer, and there's some kind of like, because as a seed, as a piece of sand,
I think I'm genuinely
forming
more
a crystal.
interested in this.
If he had just stood there and said, "I'm Jack Black," and like then something, I don't know, something interesting. It's almost like a more like a Matrix, like Inception, like kind of. I don't know. That'd be yeah. See, okay. Anfros agrees. That'd be a cool framing device.
It would be cool. So am I judging the trailer properly? They like fell into the Minecraft universe and now they're like stuck. The like family or whatever that group of people is.
I think so.
And then Jack Black is just Steve.
He's Steve.
It would be more interesting if they had to like work with this streamer person to figure out how to like beat the game so that they
people were like stream sniping to try to prevent them because they were sent there because they were involved in, like
that like formed to try to stop them from getting out of the game would be so interesting.
And like Twitch plays could like something like I don't know, who knows, right?
They fall into a sub-universe where it's all the weird mods.
But I was sitting there,
right?
Dude,
like there's hundreds of, you could do so much with it.
Dude, I was sitting there going, "Oh my God, he's going to say I'm Jack Black." He already is the actor that more than almost anyone else just plays himself.
Yeah.
So they go full like self-awareness, and he just goes, "I'm Jack Black," and he goes, "I'm Steve," and I was like, "What?
Yeah.
What do you mean you're Steve? You don't even look like a Steve.
Yeah.
Like what are you even talking about?"
Yeah.
So that's my pitch. That's my pitch. They can save this. They just have to.
They just
start
have to
over.
Sonic movie it.
I'm
They have to start
Hero
over.
Brian. That's what he should have said.
That would have been.
That would have been sick. That would have been sick.
Oh.
Dude,
He's actually just a real person.
I don't even
trapped in
mind.
Minecraft.
I don't even,
Yeah, deep lore.
I see a lot of people upset about the mix of animation and live action. I don't even mind that.
I'm kind of tired of live action stuff a little bit.
I don't even mind that if he's like, "I'm Jack Black."
It makes it instantly, infinitely better.
People are like, "That's a sick pitch. I'd see that."
There's even the like log off scene when the streamer like goes to bed or something, or maybe their mom like yells at them for being on the computer, and then they just like boop. And then the people are like, "Oh, we're in this like on our own now."
There's like so many things that they could take from the streaming, like online content creation, Minecraft,
Public server.
like, yeah, oh man, yeah, like they like someone manages to unlock creative mode, and like there's you could do like a bizarre hacking scene where like they like try to get them into creative in a public server, and they have to achieve something or whatever, right? Like there's so much there's such a rich community around Minecraft, and instead they did that.
Having like a war with the people that are trying to keep them in the game, where they make those moving structures that people do with the goo and the pistons, and they're like shooting the TNT cannons because they're
or they build they build something out of redstone that like solves some kind of problem for them with like logic gates, or like,
and it'd be really
know.
sick if the thing that they build out of redstone is actually reproducible in the game. So like people that get inspired by that could go into like more advanced creation within Minecraft. Yeah. I talked about this topic while you were gone.
To be clear, it doesn't look low effort or anything. It just looks kind of bad. That's all.
It looked kind of bad. I don't think I was too interested in it.
The Internet Archive lost their appeal. That's not to say they're not still appealing. Well, okay, I don't know if they've filed another appeal, but okay, you get it. An appeals court has ruled against the Internet Archive in the case brought by several prominent book publishers. The court has likewise forcefully rejected the principle of controlled digital lending, which libraries across the U.S. have used to justify buying a physical book, digitizing that book, and lending the digital copy as if it were a physical book, rather than buy often pricey or wholly unavailable digital licenses. According to the court, the practice does not fall under fair use or existing jurisprudence. Likewise, the court held that the Internet Archive's use was not transformative and served the same purpose as the original, allowing readers to access the author's writing. The court did, however, reject one element of the earlier ruling. The Internet Archive was determined not to be involved in commercial activity, regardless of whether or not the archive sought donations from visitors to its open library and gained non-monetary reputational value.
Yeah.
The Internet Archive has a long, difficult road ahead of it, constantly, forever. Overall, I think they're a force for good, and I wish them, for the most part, luck. The Z2 Extreme has been confirmed by AMD at IFA. AMD gave a behind closed doors presentation revealing they are working on a successor to the Z1 Extreme, the chip that powered basically every Steam Deck competitor. The Strix Point-based Z2 Extreme will arrive early next year, and AMD says the chip will be able to more than triple battery life during high-end gaming, from about 45 minutes to 3 hours on typical devices.
Crazy.
Part of that savings, though, will come from new features like AMD's fluid motion frames or frame generation. So is it real performance? I leave that up to you guys. It may already be in the hands of handheld manufacturers. According to Windows Central, Lenovo is already working on a Strix Point-based Legion Go, and this may be the processor that powers it. Our discussion question here is, what does this mean for the Steam Deck, and how should Valve respond? I think sometime next year is probably time for Steam Deck 2.
I also think, in Valve fashion, they might just not. They sort of proved their point. They did what they needed to. They don't have to release another Steam. I hope they do. I really hope they do. But sometimes Valve seems to just like kind of show up in a space and push the space forward and then fade away.
I think you make it sound a lot more intentional than it probably is.
Oh yeah, it's probably just people get bored and then they can work on whatever the heck they want, so they just don't bother work on the next one.
I think they'll do another Steam Deck.
I hope they do.
Because what no one else can replace that Valve can do is the console model, subsidizing the hardware with the royalties or with the fees that they collect on software sales.
If they do
nobody
release
else can
one,
do that.
I think I want one this time.
You're ready.
I think I finally do want one. Yeah. There's been enough times where I'm like, yeah, you know what? I really should just have that right now so that I could do something. It's not even always gaming.
Yep.
It's just like that would be by far the most convenient platform for me to be using right now. I don't know.
This is an interesting one to me. X is banned in Brazil. A panel of Brazilian Supreme Court justices has decided to uphold a countrywide ban on X. This was specifically in response to the company refusing to appoint a legal representative in the country, but it was part of a long-term dispute where Elon Musk refused to comply with other orders to take down alleged defamation and disinformation on the platform on freedom of speech grounds. Yada, yada, yada. It's been a whole thing. But the real discussion here for me is this part. In response, many users have migrated to other platforms, especially Bluesky, which had only 500,000 users last Friday, but added 2 million new users in the space of a few days.
Brazil's a big market.
And our discussion question here, and I'd like to clarify something from the last WAN show. Some people...
I couldn't even find that.
Understood what I meant.
No idea what... I didn't remember you saying that.
What I said was that Brazil was a relatively unimportant market where Elon was making a stand, whereas he complied in other ones that were more important to him. And I wasn't saying Brazil's a small market. Brazil's not a small market. What I was saying was that it was a relatively unimportant one, and his principles were not being applied equally in different territories. Someone actually posted an excellent summary on the forum of what my point was, and I was like, yes, this. And then that thread completely de-escalated.
Right.
I don't know. I'm not going to bring it up right now, though. But the conversation that I wanted to have here was...
What, I guess. But anyways.
Are our current social media platforms as immortal as we think they are? Like, we've talked about this a fair bit, especially when there was all that hullabaloo over on Reddit with the API charging and all the like cool services and alternate readers and stuff that were getting shut down by, and then
practically nothing happened.
And practically nothing happened. And you've kind of lamented the current state where these incumbents have so much power and so much momentum and such a huge back catalog that they seemingly cannot be replaced. And yet here we are. Twitter got kicked out of Brazil, and immediately Bluesky got sucked into the void that it left. Immediately.
I suspect that this is pretty much the only thing that can disrupt that space effectively right now. If you look at all of the social media platforms, they're all old. And I think that's largely because of technology gap and expense of startup, effectively. It's not very reasonable to try to make a YouTube right now, just to be honest. It just isn't. No one's going to compete with them. If Microsoft tried, they would fail. So, like, if that's the case, what are you going to do?
I mean, they couldn't even compete with Twitch, and that's
streaming.
Like, well, just a small part of what YouTube is.
Twitch itself isn't even
competing
super
with
viable.
Twitch.
So, I don't know. That's a bit of a weird one, but it's tough. So, like, maybe government disruption is basically the only thing that can cause that to happen. But I suspect, as we've pointed out with Apple, that this is much more on companies' radar now. And I think some of these big companies are going to... I don't know. I think the like, hey, everything is good. Yay, hooray, Lego movie is going to make people think that like, oh, all these companies are going to be great now. I suspect just lobbying is going to crank up. Things like that are going to happen, and this is going to cool back down. PeerTube/Fediverse. Yeah, it's a cool concept for half of 1% of people. I think it's unlikely to really... I understand half of 1% of people are now extremely angry with me. But it's just like... they've existed as options for a long time, and normies don't want it.
Yeah.
And maybe something changes down the line, and it becomes more viable, but... right now, normies don't want it. It is what it is.
Yeah, I think that in our tech bubble, we
think these things
severely overestimate sometimes the viability of a solution.
Yeah.
Intel's having some struggles. At the same time that they're launching their new Core Ultra 200V Lunar Lake mobile processors, they're apparently running low on i9 13900K and 14900K chips, most likely due to a mountain of RMA requests. In some areas of the US, it is apparently taking 3 to 4 weeks to have a replacement chip delivered. Reuters likewise reports that Intel's 18A silicon wafers have failed to pass tests set by Broadcom, an important client for Intel's contract manufacturing business. Furthermore, Intel today announced that it was canceling plans to use its own internal 20A process node for its upcoming Arrow Lake processors and would instead be using external chips, most likely from TSMC. The discussion question here is, does Intel have the resources and capacity to survive this? Is there something that could explain all these issues cropping up at the same time? I mean, it's clear they're trying to do a lot right now. I've said I like Pat Gelsinger's plan. I like the plan. I've said I don't know if they're going to execute on it. It's going to take a long time. But I like the plan of splitting Intel into the design side and the manufacturing side. I mean, I liked the plan of us kind of splitting ourselves internally into a media side and a lab side, but it's been clear at times that we bit off a little bit more than we could chew, and there have been some gaps, right? It's not for lack of like trying to do your best. The good thing for us is that we are privately held, right? So as long as we're not losing money, then we kind of can right the ship and make the corrections we need to make at our leisure. If you're a publicly held company and your valuation dips low enough,
making people money right now, they'll just leave.
And you're at risk of something like a hostile takeover. Someone can just start buying up shares. I mean, look what happened with Twitter. Yeah. So it's a scary, perilous time for Intel. I still like the plan, and I still hope they can execute on it. Not least because I just want to see a competitor to TSMC. Like we should all be rooting for a valid competitor to TSMC. No monopoly is good. I mean, look what's happened to the cost of our electronics, guys, especially the cutting edge stuff. That's not purely, Nvidia or Apple's greed. In other news, this is fun. AT&T has filed a lawsuit against Broadcom for retroactively changing contracts for perpetual software licenses that it acquired alongside its acquisition of VMware. Am I the only one who's delighted by the irony here? In December, the company announced that it would end those perpetual license sales in favor of bundled subscriptions. Imagine a company whose entire fortune was built on bundled subscriptions and forced subscriptions instead of being allowed to buy things like set-top boxes, going to court, fighting the good fight for the perpetual licenses that should exist. I, for one, love it. It's great because I hate to say the corporations because it's just such a cliche, right?
The megacorps?
But the megacorps, they love subscriptions. They love pay forever.
Too. Thanks for the plane.
Yeah, exactly. They love pay forever until all of a sudden the script is flipped.
In our case,
and they go, but my perpetual license. I love it.
In our case, we absolutely have perpetual costs.
Yes.
So we kind of need to do it that way. But taking it to the gears on VMware, I am happy that AT&T is doing that. Would I ever say I like AT&T? No. But I'm happy someone with weight to throw around is going after VMware because, man, this stuff they've pulled is really frustrating.
AT&T uses VMware to run around 75,000. These are really dry.
Yeah, you've got like pizza dust all over your laptop.
What are you going to do about it?
What's going on, dude? Wow. It's not going to make it to my laptop.
Totally did right there. Yeah, you see, look at watch, you brushed it off.
So
100%.
I'll bring you some.
Huh? No, oh my goodness, get out of here!
It's a good laptop. It won't break. LG Graham.
Stop it! No, I don't. No, stop it!
Chunk. AT&T uses VMware to run around 75,000 virtual machines across 8,600 servers.
Slimy.
While AT&T would be able to continue using the software as is, the company claims that Broadcom is refusing to renew support services for the period it is owed. I muted you. I'm sorry. You seemed like you were dying, and we didn't need to listen to you die. The last thing that's on the dock for this week is that we finally collaborated with Mrwhosetheboss and DIY Perks at the same time.
What? Wait, we worked on that?
Mm-mm.
Oh.
No, they just... Basically what Aaron said is like, I don't know. You just seemed like the person who would most appreciate this test we're trying to do. And I was like,
messed up my laptop.
And I was like, thank you.
I am bothered.
That's so cool. So you guys should go check out their collab video.
How did we... Wait.
Our only involvement was that he thought of me when he wanted to test video calling on it.
Oh, cool. Good enough.
Yeah.
Sweet. It's crazy. Super cool.
Yeah, they built the biggest iPhone, and it is shockingly iPhone-like and shockingly functional.
I expected no less from DIY Perks.
Probably the funniest part of the video is that we had a side conversation during the video call where we just had a video call. You know, I wasn't hosting, he wasn't hosting, we were just talking on our video call. And we got onto the subject of my Note 9. He asks me, oh, what phone do you use? And I go, oh, a Note 9. He's like, that's got to be a bit. And I'm like, no, that's my phone. I pull it out of my pocket and I show him all the cracks. He left it in the video.
That's pretty funny, actually.
Yeah.
I've had a one of those cases where I thought an interview was there was gonna be like a minute or two of it at max in a video, and then it was just like an uncut like half an hour segment. I was like, whoa, okay.
He left a ton of our interactions in there. I was very surprised because normally he's got like a very fast-paced style to his videos, but he left literally, I think, almost 3 minutes. Almost 3 minutes of us doing this video call on this gigantic 88-inch diagonal phone. Really, really cool project. I haven't actually watched the whole thing. It's a 24-minute video, and I didn't catch all of it. I've only made it to about 15 minutes, but I'm going to watch the rest of it. So cool. Guinness World Record. He gets to join the club now. His is cooler than ours.
Ours is pretty cool.
Ours is...
Nope.
Luke.
Nope.
Luke.
Nope. Super cool.
Luke. Ours started with...
Lowlander win.
I have getting a Guinness World Record on my bucket list. What is the easiest thing we can do? You know that. His started with, let's do something really incredible and cool and see if we can get a world record for it. It's a completely different journey.
We need to do Lowlander.
We don't need to do Lowlander.
Do you guys know what the idea for Lowlander is?
There's been various ideas for Lowlander. They're all kind of stupid.
There's been one good one.
Well, fine. What is the good one?
Underwater.
Yeah, that's the stupid one.
But
They're all stupid.
Not in like
in a submarine.
Yeah.
I know, but we're not going to do that.
Be so sick. Though.
We're not going in a submarine.
Be so sick though.
Do you want to ocean gate yourself?
No, we get like a real one. Not one made out of, what was it? Aluminum?
I don't know what it was made of.
Carbon fiber.
It was carbon fiber.
Carbon fiber.
Yeah. All right, that's probably not
hot
the best
glue.
thing to make a submarine out of.
Oh, you can make things out of carbon fiber, but you have to test them extremely diligently and weave them correctly.
This material is extremely good at one thing. Let's make it do not that. See what happens.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Time for After Dark.
Okay. All right, the buttons are pushed. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
This one's not even for you. Luke, are you ready?
Nice.
Yeah.
Hey, Luke, what advice would you give someone who wants to get budgies? What are some unexpected things to caring for them?
Can I try?
Yeah, let's just give it to Lion.
Go for it.
Okay. It's way more interaction than you think.
Yeah.
You absolutely need a pair of them, and you absolutely need to be prepared to spend time with them on a very, very regular basis.
I got him.
They do have some advantages. Oh, seriously? Was I muted that whole time?
No, just the start.
time,
I managed to
but
catch
you were
it.
muted.
Balls. Thanks, Dan. Social pairs, interact with them way more than you think. They're pretty good as far as cleanup. You know, that's one of the best things about them is they're relatively low cleanup for a parrot type bird.
Yeah.
But you have to be prepared for how extremely fragile they are. Any contaminant in the air and basically they drop dead. In short,
very true.
To go back and do it again, I wouldn't recommend.
Yeah, you are going to need to change lifestyle things. Like there's cleaners that you can't use around your house that you probably currently use, which being not able to use those is going to make cleaning things more difficult. And don't be a slob, you're still going to do it. So it takes more effort to clean your place. You can't cook with Teflon. A lot of cooking fumes, depending on someone said no smoking. Yeah, I just kind of assumed. There's issues with do you live in an apartment like most of us these days? Welp, it's going to be difficult to do anything that could have any type of fume or any type of air contaminant anywhere in your entire apartment because your apartment's probably not big enough.
Want to take up painting models? How about no?
Do you live in an apartment? Again, you can never have your sliding glass door or windows open because people in your building probably smoke, and they probably smoke constantly. So your apartment, I'm not talking about my own apartment at all. They probably smoke absolutely constantly below you. So all of the smoke just comes into your house, and that would be bad for your birds as well. There's a lot involved with it. It also gets wicked expensive if you're going to try to keep them alive at all. because the vet bills crank up fast. And even then, you might not be able to save them.
So in summary, to go back and do it again, would you recommend?
Great. They're great. I love my birds. They are tons of fun. They have really actually very vibrant personalities. They have very unique personalities. They want to be involved in everything. They're very fun. They're much more like, that's another thing. If you're getting them as a cage pet, nah, you got to let them out and let them fly. So that's another thing to consider. If you're like, oh, they're a good thing that can sit in the corner. No, they're not. They like their cage as shelter. They're going to want to leave it, and they'll get pretty frustrated if they never get to. It's bad for them. And the get a buddy thing, like if you like and your partner aren't full-time work from home all the time, and even then, you should probably get them a buddy. They're flock animals. They're not supposed to be just like left alone all the time. So now you're getting 2, and that's 2 times everything I just said, including vet bills and all that other type of stuff. So,
get a dog.
The birds are great.
Get 10 cats.
Yeah, or 5 cats.
Might be literally easier.
Oh, probably.
I don't know.
I think my cats are probably less work than your birds.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yep.
You got to meet the kittens, by the way. They're hilarious.
Yeah.
The one is just like the most outgoing thing I've ever seen. The first night we brought her home, she's just like crawling all over us and like running around. And she, you know, the thing cats do where they like go sideways and she's like this big and she does it like constantly to her brother. She's like always like being super aggressive with them and not in like a play fight way. They're hilarious.
Are they mixed yet? Like with the other cats?
No, they have fleas from living outdoors and they're too young for flea treatment.
Got it.
So we can treat them, I think, on Tuesday, and then as soon as you hit them with Revolution, they're apparently good to go to mix in because it like kills the entire flea cycle. So anything that they have on them will just like die or whatever. So then we're good to go.
Cool.
Hey, LLD, my son is in college and is very introverted. I really hope he opens up even a tiny bit and has fun. Any suggestions on how I could help encourage this?
I can already tell you as his parent, probably no.
Yeah.
Like that's the challenge, right? Introverted people pushing doesn't help. It almost has to be like a pull, if you know what I mean. Like you can't push them. They have to be enticed towards more interactions. So, you know, if they can find like a club or something like that they can get engaged with, find some like-minded people, those will pull them out of their shell.
There are a lot of those at post-secondary as well.
I got these gel blasters. And I told my son, I was like, hey, we should try these. We should they shoot Orbeez and we should like blast each other in the yard or whatever, like have a, gunfight. And he was like, does it hurt? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, no. And then his friends were over for a party. And I was like, hey, do you guys want to shoot these? And they're like, oh, yeah, that looks awesome. And I was like, okay. But the deal is because they had all been giving me a really hard time during the pool party, like just going at me, basically, like a bunch of, preteen boys, like shooting me with like every water gun and like chasing me around and like grabbing my stuff and just, they're having fun, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, they'd been going at me real hard all evening. And I was like, okay, well, here's the deal. Because these are my Orby guns. So you have to let me shoot you once. And then you can shoot them as much as you want. And they were like, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to be the first one. I want to be first. And then all of a sudden, my son's like,
I want to be involved in this thing now.
Yeah, and so that's what I mean by a pull instead of a push. No amount of me pushing him would have made him want to overcome that pain or anxiety or whatever it is. But sometimes peer pressure can be a force for good.
Yeah,
it can also be
terrible.
Under control.
But it can, absolutely. Another thing that I'd recommend is try to find small groups. Like Linus and I, this surprises some people, Linus and I both kind of actually lean more towards the introverted side of things.
You'd never know it.
Yeah.
Like watching this show, but it's definitely a thing.
But
like I leave here and
I'm
I like
so drained every Friday after
decompress
work.
for a very long time.
Yeah.
Well into tomorrow.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I mean, Luke, I think both of us have said that we've stayed up till like 5 a.m. Just decompressing.
Yep. Because I mean, if it was a particularly long and rough week, and then if WAN show goes for like a really long time, I might have really enjoyed WAN show, but
I like WAN show.
Oh yeah.
The battery afterwards sometimes just needs to be alone. Like sleeping isn't going to recharge it. I need to spend active time by myself.
Yep.
And then it'll be okay. But another thing that helps me in that regard is small groups. So I don't know, like a D&D group, or if there's like a hacker space, like there's probably not going to be a huge amount of people in there, so they can get used to the 3 or 4 people that they engage with often, and they can socialize with that group. And then maybe when they get used to that one, they can try another one, and then they can grow their social circle that way, instead of trying to meet like 20, 30 people at a time. Now, within a minute of being in the space, you know everybody's name. It's a little bit easier to navigate. You can focus on those smaller amount of people more.
It's nice when it's something where everyone is working on something in common too. That way you don't have to make small talk. You can work on a project. That's where a lot of that's where a lot of the ice breaking happens for people like me anyway.
I need some form of activity that people are focused on to like function properly. If we're literally just standing around talking and it's like a big group of people, I have like my brain is constantly like, what am I doing? But if like anything else is involved, if there's something going on, and food is pretty good for this. I think it's one of the reasons why a lot of people meet for dinner and stuff like that. But anything else, some form of central activity, and you're good.
Oh, I found that forum post. So Mrwhosetheboss summarized it well. I think it was more a jab at Twitter following U.S. regulations like a well-trained dog, while taking a relatively less significant market as a supposed moral high ground battle. The confidence wasn't so much about the size of Brazil's economy as it was about the thought process of complying in one region as opposed to another, essentially doing the same hand wave as Elon presumably did in the decision to play the moral high ground game exactly there. Oh, and side note, if to Elon the Brazilian market was relevant, he'd be working to keep X in Brazil. Relevancy is not just about being a big economy. Relevancy to a bonehead can be quite boneheaded.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was what I meant. They just said it a lot better than me.
Yeah.
Good work. All right, hit me, Dan.
Sure. Hey, LLD, any thoughts on school phone policy? My high school has started requiring students to put their phones in a basket at the start of class. Using phones in class sucks, but this seems a bit much.
Well, let me say,
I love it.
Let me say this much. I think it's good that you have fewer distractions, because this is not the correct form of there, and there is no punctuation in here at all. So I think you could stand to put your phone down for a little bit. No, okay. I'm mostly teasing.
I'm sure there's problems where, like in emergencies, it makes it more difficult for people to call home and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
Overall, I think it's a good move.
Overall, the world functioned before cell phones.
And people are really too chronically connected.
And I know that, well, back in my day, doesn't necessarily mean it was better. Sometimes progress is just that. It's progress. But I think it's become pretty clear that there is some development that is being lost in the loss of face-to-face human interactions that we're forced to do in school. Like, it's not because I wanted to talk to people. I would have actually rather not done it a lot of the time. I often hung out in Mr. McCloskey's portable at lunch, where we would watch Simpsons reruns and play video games on the crappy old computers that he had in there. Like, I absolutely dodged human interaction.
That sounds awesome. That sounds sick.
But what I'm trying to say is, it wasn't always an option.
I want to do that now.
And I'm glad I got forced to talk to people and interact with people, because it's a valuable life skill, even if it's not comfortable.
Yes.
Hey, WAN.dll. I'm playing FF3 SNES version on my Steam Deck. I'm finding having the instruction manual would help a lot, aka Blitz.
Okay, hold on. Mattman87 in the chat says, counterpoint. Education is to prepare for the real world, and most people will have their phones immediately accessible at work, and many jobs even require it. Yes, but many jobs will expect you to put your fucking phone away and get your work done. So you've got to be prepared for both, and I don't think we need to prepare this generation for having their phone on.
They're going to have an absolutely excessive amount of time outside of that to have their phone on them. They're also probably doing homework, so they'll have an experience of doing work with their phone with them.
All right, hit me.
Linus and Luke, what have been the mechanics you had no idea what to do in FF3?
Is this the Japanese number versus the American number thing, and I'm playing that game?
You are playing that game.
Okay.
You're playing Final Fantasy VI.
Mechanics, I wasn't expecting.
Did I give you a manual? Yeah. I think I gave you my manual. Did you read it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Was it helpful?
Yeah, because originally I was actually Googling things. And then now I'm like, no, I can do this the right way, which is sick.
And the manual intentionally doesn't have everything in it.
Yeah, which is great.
There's lots of items and stuff that are not in there.
That's cool.
Yeah, super
I'm
cool.
down with that. And I would like to play within those limitations.
And it's vague sometimes. Like what
That's
exactly
also
the ability does is
Yeah.
like kind of poorly translated or intentionally vague. I actually love it.
I do prefer that over Googling just with no reference. It was like,
because Googling, it's almost TMI sometimes.
yes.
It'll be like, yeah, and here's the optimal build, and you do this.
I don't want to know that.
No, I just want to play the game, you know?
Yeah.
It wasn't designed to be completely broken by, stacking up Genji equipment on this particular character and leveling them in this particular way and going to this particular place in order to oh man, no.
I promise you my team is not optimally set up.
Oh yeah.
I guarantee. I can't even fully tell. Like, I'm still kind of learning, okay, so this character is sort of supposed to do this thing.
You got to stream again so I can tune in.
Yeah.
You never stream anymore.
Yeah.
So lame.
Yeah. I do want to.
So basically, what has been a mechanic you had no idea what to do? And I guess they're just talking kind of more broadly.
The
funny.
the little kid that learns other
Gao.
people's abilities things, or something.
Yeah. Oh, I think he has a new name.
No, I thought it was Gao. The second you said Gao, it made sense to me.
Let me see what I can find.
I still think it's Gao.
Is it Gao? Okay, maybe it's still Gao. Anyway, yeah, the guy you find on the Veld.
Yeah, so that took me a sec. It wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
Then you sort of figure it out.
Yeah. Oh man, it took me forever to catch him because I didn't figure out to use the dried meat on him or something. I kept.
Oh no, that was pretty weird.
I kept eating dried meat myself.
That segment of the game.
Yeah, with the 3 parties split up on
there
the
was
3 different
a couple
paths.
spots where it was like, what the heck am I supposed to do now? But you figured it out.
Yeah.
Mostly it was like, where am I supposed to go when it's totally free map? There's no quest log, all that kind of stuff. But I'm a Morrowind enjoyer. I like that feeling. So I'm okay with that. I'm going to explore. I'm going to try to find things. I'm going to try to think of what I'm supposed to do next and execute that. And if that's not right, well, I went on an adventure anyways. Who cares? Go back, try to find the right way.
Okay. I've been told a lot of times that my pronunciation of Veg is weird.
Veg?
Does it stand out as weird to you?
Veg? No.
What is it supposed to be? Dan?
Vague.
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 Your description of this game is vague.
That sounds like the same thing to me.
No, it's just his accent.
Vague.
Remember
Vague
he
and
talks.
vague.
Remember
Those are
he
different
talks like a valley girl. Go for a reap in your truck dairy kind of thing, right?
That's not a Valley Girl accent. That's an Eastern Canadian accent.
I was comparing it to an Eastern Canadian
How
accent.
dare you?
That was
How dare you? Just because y'all invented the language doesn't mean you get to dictate how the rest of us speak it.
It's like egg versus way.
Take your imperialistic bullshit and get out of here.
Everyone is a foreigner but the English.
It's like egg versus way. Vague, vague.
Yeah.
No,
Tomato kind of thing.
Yeah, except tomato's stupid.
Who says tomato?
I don't know. I hate them. If you're out there, I will fight you. Stop being incorrect.
All right, what else we got today?
My goodness.
Linus, I need an update about the bike at GAT. At GAT.
What?
At GAT? Is this like of course? ATGATT.
I'm sure it means something.
GAT.
All the gear, all the time. It just means always wear your gear. I have been so tired and so busy. I have not made any significant progress. Getting a significant amount of it painted and then needing to unpaint it has been really frustrating. And I had such a hard time stripping the gas tank that I used a more aggressive media when I was sandblasting it, and it left a bunch of like divots in it that are not sanding out easily. I have so many hours ahead of me that I have not been getting motivated about it. And I had like really good momentum going, and then my sister died, and I just kind of fell off of working on stuff like that for a while, and I just got to kind of pick it back up again. I've been tired. Yeah, I will ride next season. Darn it.
Yeah.
Next season I will ride.
Yeah.
Hello, son, dad, and grandpa. You guys are coming up on 7,000 videos, currently 6,984. What is your favorite LTT moment ever?
Impossible.
Yeah.
I don't even remember most of them.
Dude, we did a dive a while ago. I think it was on WAN Show, and we saw a bunch of videos that I was in that I have no memory of.
Yeah.
Like, at all.
We've been
7,000,
doing
crazy.
this for almost as like my YouTube career can drive. You know,
How long until it's half your life?
we're coming up.
Pretty close.
Yeah,
It's
a few
gotta
more
be.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's so hard for me to say, and we've done so much wacky,
Oh, yeah.
incredible stuff on camera.
Remember when we... That wasn't on LTT. Yeah, that doesn't count. That was on Channel Super Fun. All right.
Let me see if I can find this.
Someone in Floodplain chat guessed what I was
Oh,
laughing
dildo
about.
racing.
The fact that someone guessed that. Great job, Top Gear. That's crazy. I didn't even say anything. That's wild. You're in my head. My goodness.
Yeah, like we've done weird stuff, you know? I came across this a little while ago because I don't know how, but I stumbled across it. This is from 12 years ago. And like I can't explain what would have been going through my mind when I decided to make this. I think we were an independent company already by this point.
Highlight the 12 years ago. It'll say the actual date.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is over 6 months into the existence of Linus Media Group. And, you know, so we were kind of a serious company doing serious company things. I'm unboxing a cable. I think we needed a Thunderbolt cable.
Wasn't that 2012?
For something. Yeah. Or wait, sorry, is this a year before?
Yeah.
We definitely filmed this together, though.
Yeah.
Do you remember this? Do you know what happens?
I remember doing this. I don't remember what happens, no.
So I unbox a cable for some reason. And then, like, I don't know how I got the idea in my mind, but I was like, yeah, Thunderbolts and, like, you know, power or something. Oh my God, am I really looking at the documentation for a Thunderbolt cable? Thank goodness I lost patience with doing that sort of thing. Like, you could, like, what?
Oh, wait,
like,
no, I remember this! I remember this! Oh my goodness!
What is happening?
Oh my God! Why did we do that?
I don't know, but it's so hard to watch.
The second you started to pull it out, it all came back. I remember that jump even. Yeah.
What am I doing? Why is this? This doesn't make any sense.
You dive in, of course you do. Ridiculous.
Why am I wearing my helmet? Like I'm
'Cause you're probably trying to be a Power Ranger.
Dude, I'm
or
26 years old.
something. Yeah.
I'm 26. What am I doing?
Being a Power Ranger, dude. Nice. The
Like,
worst part about that is you probably could have done that perfectly fine and you intentionally fell.
No, I can't do a flip off of a tree.
No, I meant even just like jumping off.
Oh
or
yeah,
something.
no, I'm like definitely doing worse than I. Oh. Like, what was I thinking there.
You
I
take
fight
out
a
the
drone.
Yeah.
Fight the drone, and then the
Yeah,
drone
you can
chases
tell
me.
I put the camera down so that I could fly the drone.
Yeah.
The camera's no longer moving.
Did this have a mid-roll? Or is this a post-roll ad?
Heck yeah, did the video just end
I
right
think
there?
maybe. Yeah, the video just ends there.
Sick.
Like what?
Sick.
What even is that?
Oh man.
What is that?
Have you ever seen that, Dan?
No, I'm rolling over here.
This is how we made it, dude.
My face
That's where it
hurts.
came from.
I mean,
So that
holy
wasn't
crap.
the company.
Anyone who says our
yet.
videos used to be better is a f***ing liar.
They have the same soul, and I love that. It's like, you're saying you're 26, and it's like, I'm gonna have fun and be a child because that's entertaining, and like keep it. I don't take myself seriously, right? It's about being funny and fun.
Yeah.
And Thunderbolt cables. It's like Short Circuit if it was cool.
CamDog13 says
Get Wreck Bell.
that's the equivalent of 70s fashion was better. Exactly.
Yeah. We can move on.
That was pre-company, but that was after we had decided to do it.
Around the time we were deciding to do it. I think that's a little early for after we decided.
Okay, we're definitely talking about it
Yeah.
then at least.
I forget why I needed a 2-meter Thunderbolt cable, but I was like, okay, I need to monetize obtaining this somehow.
You
and
still
so we
do
made this
that,
video,
right?
Well,
I
yes.
was at Smash Jams, and you're like, wow, everything's crap. Free content. Film crew here tomorrow.
I did not say it was crap, and it took more than one day to get a film crew there.
Okay, fine.
Your knock to
Let
a
me
door
editorialize.
Your knock to a door is very cool, Dan.
Do you like my knock to a door?
I do.
Thank you.
It's good.
Thank you.
It's a knock to a door.
Yeah.
Don't go in the lower class.
I thought we were going to put a...
Jank.
All right.
Who do I work for? Okay, where are we? Dan and L&L. Can't believe I almost missed these. Glad I could pick up some. They are the scrunchies.
Ah.
Is there a reason they're leaving? What will happen to the shirtwaist that was being used for these?
Is there just not anymore?
I don't know. That's a good question. I
think they're being discontinued, is what I've seen a couple.
I will ask.
He is sending an email. Maybe we'll have a
So when are we
follow-up.
getting a modern remake of that epic video? I don't think you can even do that.
We're going to throw him into some blackberry bushes. That sounds fun.
I don't think it'll have the
No,
same.
no.
It won't.
It won't be earnest.
Yeah. It won't be the same thing.
I think the closest modern video would be us bushwhacking the fiber run through the bushes because lol.
Yeah, to be honest.
I still wear those
same
jeans.
Energy just applied to where we are now. You still wear those jeans? What are they?
I ripped open one of the knees when we were doing that.
Yeah, but now you're like cool and stuff.
What? I wasn't cool back then.
Yeah, wow, rude. So rude.
My
so
goodness. I feel like you got to report it like a workplace injury. You got to go tell Ariana.
Oh yeah, exactly.
You don't report workplace injuries to Ariana.
She's on
No,
the
but
safety
this is-
team
but this
technically.
was-
Oh, okay. All right,
Yeah.
fine.
Well, that
I
also
don't think
isn't
I don't
what
think
was
Luke
referencing,
knew
though.
that. Yeah, exactly.
I totally did.
Yes. All right, here's a question for Luke. How have float planes content policies changed over time?
We definitely have
Do we have
those,
them?
and they're very stringent. Don't break them, or we'll come for you. We are very serious.
I mean, we've talked about just like, adult content and stuff like that. I think, I don't think anyone has ever challenged us on content policy. I think our only policy is if
they
it's legal,
totally
it's okay.
have, and our policies are bulletproof.
They're bulletproof. Okay.
Yes. Basically, if it's legal where we are and where you are, that's
Then
fine.
We have nothing to say about it.
Pretty much. That's what we've gone with. The nude stuff, there are problems there because of the payment processors,
Yes.
not because of us.
So we'd probably have to clone the site, create onlyplanes.com
And
or
then
whatever.
use different payment processors because they have made it very clear that unless, in Stripe's case, this is very highly selective because if you're OnlyFans, then sure, because you're bringing in so much money, we're not going to say no to that contract. But
Yeah.
if you're anybody else, whoa, we have morals. No. Very frustrating.
It's very the arbitrary enforcement of these kinds of policies.
No! Wait, that's a lot of money. Okay, you can come through. Everybody else? No!
Yeah, and then at that point, why? Because there's clearly no principled stance here. So, like, to Apple's credit, at least they are genuinely prudish.
Yeah. That honestly
Genuinely.
doesn't bother me because
They're
of that.
actually consistent.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's really stupid because they released a VR headset without addressing what people use VR headsets for.
Yeah.
And like actively working against the consumption of such content on their VR headset.
Beat Saber.
It's just like, all right, next merge message.
I'm so sorry. I work is setting up trade shows. I was wondering what was the biggest challenge you faced while organizing LTX, and did anything learned carrying into company policy as you grew? What?
Biggest challenge was definitely communication, and that continues to be our biggest challenge as an
yeah.
organization.
Did you learn anything to
We're gonna-
carry into company policy? Yeah.
That we should communicate better. We still have a lot of work to do on that. I think that's the hardest thing, especially when you have a company that's made out of a lot of like tech enthusiasts and their ilk. We've got a lot of people who are not naturally extroverted and don't naturally seek conflict. And so that can be a really difficult environment sometimes.
Especially when those people just bottle it
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden, and it's like, what?
Yeah. So
Huh?
I think, remembering we're all on the same team,
Hello?
it's very, very important.
I just noticed on the dock, I was scrolling around the dock for some weird reason.
I just noticed on your face.
Partway through the dock, right after the sponsors, it says, "I've been silenced." New line, "I said too much."
Yeah, that's the title suggestions.
Oh, okay.
It's the title of the stream,
I
Luke.
was like, who was this? What happened? Are they okay?
Oh,
all right.
that's great. I'm just going to start writing
the
like
only way they've been able to speak out?
I live in your walls all over the document in like 0.01 gray font, and then adjust Luke's contrast on his screen so only he can see it.
Oh, no. I have given him too many ideas.
No, but that I can see that being terrifying.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No, I just write it there so it doesn't get lost. Hi, LDL. Sam Altman is coming to my university for a fireside chat next week. What questions should I bring to potentially ask?
I don't know, whatever questions you want to hear a bullshit tech bro answer
Yeah,
to.
have you watched any of his interviews, dude?
Like,
Dude, one of the most interesting things I find about his interviews are the hatred behind his smile. I feel it in like almost no one more than him. It's actually
I'm Googling that.
crazy. You have to watch. I don't remember the particular interview, but there's an interview with him
Oh, God.
where someone starts asking him some questions that he doesn't really like, and he says something along the lines of like, basically, that question isn't worth my time, but in like a super PR friendly way. And he's smiling, super happy the whole time, but he's just dunking on this person. And you know that he's doing that, and you know that he feels that way, but he's smiling and his tone of voice is all happy and perky. And I'm just like, this is incredibly fake to the point where it like, I do not like it. I'm not down. Be a human. I understand what you're trying to make isn't that, but you can be a human.
Can you
My
count to 5?
Goodness.
What's next? Will we ever be able to buy new products without AI now? Do you think AI is just the new VC hotness, or will it continue to infest every corner of our lives until it's unavoidable?
it might be bubbly right now in terms of the valuation of the companies that are capitalizing on this sort of boom, but it's not a fad. It's not going away in some form or another. This type of machine learning not only isn't going away, but has been with us a lot longer than I think mainstream media in particular realizes. Like neural networks, large language models, none of this stuff happened in the last year. It's just that we reached this sort of breakthrough point where it started becoming usable, and that drove a lot of interest in it. That's the only difference. and the hardware is getting to the point where it's fast enough to do in real time. It's going to be everywhere. Absolutely. Don't delude yourself into thinking that that's not happening.
As Tynan said in Floatplane chat, it's the new ray tracing, which I think is an interesting comparison.
Yeah.
Because when it was first introduced, it was super overhyped, and people tried to use it, and it was kind of and then years down the line, it's like, oh, this is actually really sick.
And in the long term, it'll be the only way that makes sense to do things, because like manually coding what light should look like will seem stupid when we can just simulate it
Gaussian
in real time.
splatting.
Good
Thank you.
None asks, any chance for opening merch messages sooner for EU customers? It's 6:30 in the morning here. We've got to try to find the balance. When we had it loaded towards the front of the show, people got really upset and they felt like it was just the promoting LTTStore.com show.
No, I think they mean being able to do it.
No, I don't think so.
Oh.
I think they mean responding to them.
You said opening up.
Yeah, like opening them.
No, like enabling them.
I don't know if we want more merch messages, you guys. Like we really appreciate your patronage and all of that, but for the most part, LTT Store is a store, not a messaging app, if you will.
And last one I've got for you here. Hey, LDL, I'm one of the fun few working at a media company with huge layoffs. Been working on my indie game and wondering, since you have invested in projects, what should I maybe do to find funding?
I got to be honest with you. I don't know pretty much anything about that world. There's a couple projects that NAS software and framework that I've thrown some money at. Because I just think they're super cool. I did functionally zero due diligence on either of them. With framework, I was like, this thing seems amazing. I have no idea if this is going to work, but I want it to be the next thing. I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. I got like a big part of it was just like I thought it'd be a splashy title for the video. Like I just, I thought it was so cool, and I just wanted to be part of it. I'd never met the founder other than like exchanging a couple of emails, and I didn't know anything about the team. That is absolutely not how you should do something like this. And then with the NAS software, I knew the guys on the team from their Unraid days, but like I didn't do any due diligence with respect to like their other funding, or like I personally never even read the shareholder agreement. I don't know what it says. Yvonne says she looked at it, but like at the end of the day, these were guys that contributed in a big way. Like John was realistically the mastermind behind 7 Gamers 1 CPU. Like he made that thing happen. I did a lot of the work too, but like I couldn't have done it without him. And so sort of looking at how helpful he was, I was like, okay, well, like, I don't know, whatever, here's the money, and like do it or burn it. We'll see what happens. I don't want to announce anything, out of turn or whatever, but I think there's going to be some stuff to talk about, hopefully in the span of weeks rather than months, which is pretty exciting because,
nice.
Yeah, I have some issues with my NAS setup right now that I'm just like, I could fight through like forums and documentation and try and fix this, or I could just not bother. I could just wait for.
I've been kind of itching to improve my NAS setup, but I've been waiting for this thing.
Yeah,
to be honest. So
I think we're not the only ones.
That sounds great.
I'm pretty stoked, but like what I'm kind of getting to here is I don't know how that world works. I've just stupidly thrown amounts of money that I am 100% willing to lose at these companies that I just, either the people or the mission I think are extremely cool and important. I don't think you would ever find probably another investor like me, because I really have zero involvement and demand absolutely nothing from them, because as far as I'm concerned, I was just kissing the money goodbye. Most investors expect a return, and they expect it within some period. I have no intention of cashing out my framework shares.
You're like a unicorn investor.
Except I don't have unicorn investor money. Like in both cases, it was...
Not gonna lie, didn't know that was a term that existed.
Oh yeah, it's a thing.
Oh.
Like I don't... sorry, unicorn would be more of like a term for the startup that has like a huge valuation and huge growth. Sorry. So when you said that, what I meant was like, I'm not the kind of person who can like single-handedly come in and like turn you into a unicorn, was what I meant by that.
Understood.
Like in both cases,
Angel investor, people are saying.
Angel, that's it. Thank you. So like I don't have angel investor money. That's it. I knew they were related. In both cases, it was a couple $100,000, which it's been kind of funny to see accusations of like how compromised I am now over that investment. Let me put it this way. That wouldn't cover our payroll for... I don't think that would cover our payroll for a week. Yeah, I think that's about right now. So like, it's a ton of money, and it's really meaningful to those small teams, which is why I wanted to support them. But it's like, in the grand scheme of Linus Media Group and its operations, and obviously I would rather it makes a profit or whatever, but
you can't do that all the time.
Yeah, I can't do it all the time.
Only so much that you can do that with. We only have 2 cases of this ever happening.
Yes.
So like,
this is not something that I just do casually on stream.
Yeah, we even had like the community was quite. I think the community seems to have forgotten about this sometimes, but the community was quite involved with the framework investment.
Yep.
We like asked them if it was cool.
Yep.
And their vote mattered, if I remember correctly. I don't fully remember, but
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I don't know, guys. It's I don't know anything about it. I just have done a couple random things because I thought the people were really cool and I thought the mission was really cool. I don't know. I don't understand it. I can't relate to the usual investor mindset. And I have done enough looking into raising capital as a business owner that I've just looked at it and I've gone, that looks horrible and I don't want to learn about this.
Yeah, I was going to say, we're the wrong people. Low amount of total investments. The investments that do exist are weird.
And we've never gotten investment.
Yeah, so sorry.
Oh, and sorry. I think the show's over.
Oh.
We will see you again next week. Same bad time, same bad channel.
Bye.
Oh, someone asked what happened to the GameStop shares. I think at some point Yvonne just flipped whatever was left of them, and she was trying to pay something down and was liquidating things. So I don't actually know what they sold for. But there's that. So yeah, I do not